What's up, everybody? Do a little do a little phone mount adjustment here, real quick. What's everybody doing today? Trying to enjoy your Sunday, I hope. Appreciate everybody coming in. Check it out. Let me know what's going on. What's up, everybody? Appreciate everybody coming in. Sorry, messing with another phone here. Trying to get everything going. I was trying to set that one up so I could see the comments on that one, but apparently it decided to power off right as I went live. So um, technology, gotta love it. Who all's in here today? Again, appreciate everybody coming in. See, just a marble race guy. Hi, how's it going on? Don's here. What's up? Wild Bill's here. Appreciate you coming in, Wild Bill. DIY Semi, 1,000 subs. All right, good deal. Yeah, I was watching your video yesterday, and you were like right there. So I knew it wasn't going to be long. I mean, you were like 3 or 4 away. So I'm glad you got that. It's a nice little milestone. Let's see, Just a Marble Guy says, nothing going on for me. Yeah, I'm done for the day here. I got a delivery in Atlanta in the morning, but yeah, I'm not trying to get too close to Atlanta. You know, I'm south of Chattanooga. I like to stay in between Chattanooga and Atlanta, but you got to get up so dang early to get a parking spot. You know, like, it's ridiculous down through here. Like, there should literally be a truck stop every exit between Chattanooga and Atlanta. It is ridiculous. I mean, there's nowhere to park. Appreciate everybody coming in. If you could, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that for me. Who else is in here? Yeah, congratulations, DIY Semi. I'm glad you got that. Everybody go check out DIY Semi. He's got a good channel over there. Okay. Don't know why my phone shut off. It says it's at 97% battery. Nothing surprises me anymore. Let's see. What else is going on in here? K-Save in the house. The Guru's here. Yo, yo, yo. Big Cash's King Gang. Yeah, appreciate it. Wild Bill says, you going to do 2 live blogs at the same time? Yeah, I was thinking about it. That'd be par for the course, wouldn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to use the second phone I have as to read the comments off of, but I don't know. It's being a real pain. It's finally restarted. I don't know. Let's see, what's everybody got going on here? Jeremy Griggs in the house. Thanks for coming in, Jeremy. Don, how's the reefer? I have had no problems with it since it glitched the other day. It's, knock on wood, it's running perfectly fine. So, I don't know. I just don't know. All right, now the phone says it's got a critically dead battery. I love technology. Yeah, the reefer doing fine. I mean, I went and I filled it up today, and since yesterday it had used like $5 worth of reefer fuel, so it had started and stopped a little bit. It was cool. It hadn't been running a whole lot, so hopefully all that's over with. K-Save, I'm in Carnesville, Georgia. Carnesville. That sounds familiar. If my other phone would start, I would look that up real quick. But let's see. I am in Calhoun, Georgia right now. So Jeremy Griggs says, I'm at the New Loves. They're we close. Yeah, Jeremy, I'm at the New Loves. Hit me up. Let's see what's going on with everybody. Let's see. DIY Semis here. He says, I was just in Atlanta reloading in Noonan, Georgia tomorrow. K-Save, I'm between Chattanooga and Atlanta. Come down to that new Love's there, man. The one at 310. You can help me stomp this phone out. This this piece of crap phone. Well, I swear I said it was at 97%. So this is like the third time I'm restarting this piece of junk. But yeah, everybody trying to get in and out of here before the hurricane blows in. I heard the like Monday it should be in Florida, Monday, Tuesday in Florida, South Carolina. Thought about looking for a load coming out of that area. I would say, you know, you could probably get a pretty good rate if you're willing to go over there and deal with a hurricane or tropical storm. I mean, it's kind of a crazy strategy, but I do use that sometimes. You know, I kind of angle myself near natural disasters, and I don't know. You got to deal with a bunch of crap, but you know, like, I'm here to make the most money. Powering off again. Powering off. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's funny. That's funny. That thing was sitting there working fine for like 15 minutes before I started this live. As soon as I went live, it took a crap. Like, right on time. Let's see. K-Save. LOL. I'm at 296. Oh, man, yeah. Let's see here. Freight Broker Trainer in the house. Thanks for coming in, Freight Broker Trainer. Everybody would hit that thumbs up for me as you come in the door. And if you would, if you're not, subscribe. Go ahead and run my numbers up a little bit. Let's see here. Freight Broker Trainer in the house. What's up, Freight Broker Trainer? Ezekiel 3 says, start my school for CDL next Monday. Wish me luck. Yeah, good luck, man. Put you in 6 months to a year with one of these, you know, tolerable companies, as I call them. You know, try to get in one that's, you know, like actually pays you for what you do. You know, detention pay, all the miles you run. You know, run about a year of that, and then you know, that whole year. My advice, and this is my advice. This is what I tell new people. I got a nephew that's about 19 to 20 years old, and I was actually talking to him earlier today about it. I said, what you need to do when you turn 21, you need to find a regional company that will actually pay you practical miles and pay you detention and get you home when you want to be home. Because he's got, you know, he's got the world wide open. No kids, no wife. I said, go find you a company. I said, put in 6 months to a year. Get it where I can get you on insurance, or you know, a company can get you on insurance. And yeah, I said, don't even worry about it. Do that 6 months to a year, pay those dues, and then I will get you on the right track. We'll have you making 100,000, 130,000 a year. You know, what about a year in? Is that, you know? That's where you ought to be. That's where you ought to be in trucking, I think. You know, if you're making less than 100,000 a year, I think you're getting underpaid to be on the road. Unless you're one of those guys that does like 2,000 miles a week, then, you know. But if you're willing to get out here, put in the work, I seriously think it ought to be 100,000 a year. Jeremy Griggs, I'm out at the exit, way on out here at the very end. Like, I positioned myself so in the morning I can shoot straight out the exit. But yeah, let me get done with the live, and I'll come find you. But yeah, I'd like to meet you, Jeremy. Pretty good guy, coming here a lot, I see. Alex Rhodes is here. What's up, Alex? What's going on, King? Not much, chilling. Got in Atlanta in the morning. Ezekiel, well, thanks for the advice. Yeah, that's just you know, that's just what I would recommend people. You know, and like I said, that's my nephew. I mean, like, I think the world of that kid, so I wouldn't tell him anything, that would put him off track. But that first 6 months to a year, probably a year, you're just going to have to, like, I ain't saying you got to be, like, taken advantage of, but you kind of got to go somewhere and you got to make them some money, because they're going to insure you when you're hardly insurable. And, but yeah, like, there's places you can go. Like I told him, I said, for the first 6 months or so, maybe 3 months, I said, honest to God, looking around, what I see, I may go, like, if I was starting right now, I'd probably go to Swift, because they'll pay for your school, but there's no contract involved. You can go there, you can work 3 months, 6 months, whatever, get some experience, and then move on to a better company. A lot of people might not agree with that, but I don't know if I'd go to Swift. I might find a small regional company, but I don't know. If I'm in his position, 6 months to a year, if you run hard for 6 months, say a year, just say a year, you run hard for a year, with no bills, you could probably stack, $30,000. Well, $30,000 is a good amount to start your own, trucking company. That's what I would do if I was him. That's the advice I would give him. Either buy a truck, lease it on somewhere. Jeremy Griggs, I'm in the FCC truck. Do you have air tabs on your truck, Jeremy? I think you're like 3 trucks over from me. Dale Mandelt says, what's up, buddy? Not much, just chilling, enjoying a Sunday afternoon here. Stayed at my mom's house last night, so that's always nice. Get to stay at the house. Yeah, man, good advice. Big company with benefits. Yeah, like, I think you do better if you can run, if things work out, I think you do better as an owner-operator in trucking. That's if you want to take on the risk and, handle all that. But, yeah, I mean, company with benefits never hurt, Like, I told him, call Averett or somebody when you turn 21, Because I did like a year and a half with Averett. They're not the worst company. You get home every weekend. They pay okay. They got nice new equipment. My thing I liked with Averett was they got so many terminals. Like, I never worried about where I was parking at night, because either I found a truck stop early, or I could run till 10 o'clock at night, go straight in, like Atlanta. They got 2 terminals in Atlanta. I would go straight into Atlanta in the middle of the night, and I knew I had a parking spot at a terminal. So that takes a lot of stress off of a new driver, knowing he's got, like, because Averett in the Southeast, Averett's got like 50 terminals, and so that's 50 locations in the Southeast. You got a parking spot. So I told him do something like that for like a year, just put in your time, stay out of trouble. And when the year is up and you can move on to a good company, that's what I would do. Let's see, Ezekiel. The school I'm going to, they told me about this company they can get me on with, but you tell me if you know of them. They're called Werner. Oh yeah, Werner is massive. Yeah, I don't know, Werner. I mean, when you start out, man, when you're starting out, a lot of these companies it's the same thing with a different name on the side of the truck. So you can't get too much into this company, that company. Now, when you get about 6 months in, maybe a year in, then that's when you can really start, like, getting into a different kind of company. And I mean, I don't know, maybe you like it if you start at Werner and you stick with it, like, I mean, you may be there 10 years from now. There's good and bad in every company. The one thing I would not do, I would tell you, I would not do if I was going to one of these trucking companies, is they got that little do not compete paperwork now, where, like, if you don't like them and you quit, you can't go to work somewhere else. No, I'd fold that up like an origami duck and tell them to fly it up their butt. There's no way, or an origami swan or whatever it's called. There's no way I'd sign one of those. Now I get it. If you're going to pay for my schooling and you want a year from me, you want 6 months from me for that, I'm okay with that. Because we're giving and taking at that point. You're paying for my school, I'm giving you a year, and you're paying me. So it's give and take. But now these companies that say, oh well, if we send you to school, you can't go work somewhere else. It don't work like that in my world. I just tell them go kick rocks. But yeah, Werner. I mean, I've heard people hate Werner. I've heard people love Werner. It's a huge company, so one of the benefits I would look at if I was just starting out as well is I would call the company that I'm starting with and I would ask them about dedicated accounts they have in my area. As a new guy, if you can get on a dedicated run as a new guy, you can get your experience in with a lot less stress, because I can tell you this, I did about a year with USA Truck and then I got a dedicated account, and man, things got so much easier when I got the dedicated account. It's just back and forth, same place. Definitely check into that. See if they got any kind of dedicated accounts they can work with you on. Ezekiel says, the school I'm going to... Oh, yeah, okay. I just read that one. Yeah, Werner's a huge company. There's a lot of different angles you can work at Werner. Like, you can be on certain accounts, maybe dedicated accounts. I don't know where you live, but I can tell you this. If you live between Minneapolis and Chicago, Werner has a 3M account that is as gravy can be. I've talked to a lot of those 3M guys, and it's like basically you go from like Minneapolis to where is that at? DeKalb, Illinois. I mean, dude, there is no traffic, major cities through there. You just go from Minneapolis to DeKalb. It's like a day run one way, and that's all you do is back and forth, and it pays like pretty good, and you get new equipment out of Werner, good benefits, So yeah, I mean, if they can get you in Werner and Werner will put you on, like I said, there's worse places you can be than Werner. There's probably better places, but hey, you need that 6 months to a year to get, to really like basically they're paying you to get experience. So, you got to think of a company like that. Or think of the company like that. They're going to pay you to get experience. So, I respect that. Alex Rhodes says, I went to truck driving school. They spent 6 months training with Werner. If I had to do it all over again, I would do the training through company. I went to truck driving school, then spent 6 months training with Werner. If I had to do it all over again, I would do the training through the company. Oh, okay, so like Werner, you talking about Werner has their own truck driving school? Let's see here. The 6 months is fair, but if you don't like it, pay them and walk. You are going to pay for the schooling anyways. Yeah. When I went to truck driving school, and this was like 15 years ago, but I went for Pam Transport paid for me to go out there, and then they said they didn't like my job history or they couldn't verify something, so I was already at truck driving school, and USA Truck came along and was like, hey, yeah, we'll hire you. So that's what I did, and I worked for them for about 2 years. I was with USA Truck for about 2 years. Not the greatest company. Like, they got a lot of faults, but the training was okay. I felt like I had a good trainer. I learned a lot, and I put in my year, and I was like, well, when my year's up, I'll probably leave. I got a bonus for staying for a year, and they paid for my truck driving school. So, it was kind of a give and take there, and Basically, I paid for the truck driving school every week, like $40 a week out of my pay. But then at the end of the year, they gave it back to me. So, wasn't a bad deal. Got my CDL, got some experience, and and then right as I got ready, I was going to leave after a year. They gave me a dedicated account, and I did that for about 6 months. So, there's a lot of give and take in these big companies. There's a few that I really don't like though, because they underpay and they take advantage of people. Like my big one is Western Express, because I've been there, I've done that. They are horrible. You know, there's a lot of these I just wouldn't mess with, but um, yeah, Werner seems to be okay. I would jump at Werner if they're offering you a job. Hey, take a chance on them. Dale Mendel says, I think that any company that is willing to take a chance on you and put you in a $200,000 piece of equipment is a good company for you to start. Yeah, I mean, um, I would prefer to start with a company that pays. My big thing would be, do they pay practical miles? Because you lose a lot of money if they don't pay you practical miles. That's my biggest beef with company driver positions. Like, I think even starting out, like, okay, I get it. You pay me less because I'm a new guy. I get it. I got no experience. You put me in a expensive piece of equipment. These big trucking companies, they're getting super deals on these trucks, but they're brand new ones they're giving you. The problem is they pay you these short miles. That kills me in the trucking industry, paying short miles. Pay me practical miles. You've got a computer, I've got a phone. We can easily look it up and see how many miles it is from point A to point B. I hate being paid short miles. It annoys me. So, I don't know. I would probably look for a company that pays practical miles. And other than that, as long as you don't pay me like 12 cents a mile, you pay me something where I can like live on a decent wage, I probably jump at them, get that 6 months to a year. But my big thing, my number one thing I would tell new drivers is, do not sign that do not compete clause piece of paper contract they give you. If they tell you, oh, if you quit here, if you quit this job, you can't work anywhere else, I would just be like, bye. I'm not signing that. Because if you go to a reputable truck driving school, there'll be at least 5 to 6 big companies that could, take you on and hire you. It's like Pam Transport, got me to truck driving school, and then Pam Transport says, oh, by the way, yeah, we couldn't verify your last job, so we're not going to hire you. I was like, oh man, I was freaking out because I didn't know the industry. I mean, within the end of the day, the truck driving school was like, hey, we also got USA Truck here, and they said they would hire you. So I was like, gravy, at that point, I didn't care because I didn't know. Oh man, Trucker Wild TV says 1999 T-bone steak and eggs from Trucker Wild. Oh, you best believe I will make that happen. I appreciate that, man. You didn't have to do that. Everybody should check out Trucker Wild over there, though. I enjoy his content, very positive. And, he said something in a video the other day that I think is kind of what I was just talking about. If you're over the road and you're not making $100,000 a year, you really need to reevaluate. And I get it if you're new to the game. If you're new to the game and you're just starting out, I still think if you're away from home your first year, you ought to be making $50,000. It's just how I look at it. My first year was not as good because I started out, back in the horse and buggy days. But, I still made pretty good my first year. I was pretty impressed with it. I was coming out of a factory job where I was making like 30 grand a year. And again, jumped in a truck and I made like 36,000 my first year. So, not bad. K-Save in the house. Don't forget a beer. Oh, man. You guys are too much. K-Save, my guru. Appreciate it. Trucker Wild TV. Yeah, everybody check out Trucker Wild. I like that. Um, he jokes around a lot, but you know his wife loves him because, man, some of the stuff he says, like, I'm surprised she doesn't murder him in his sleep. But it's funny. I mean, she must have a good sense of humor because she just kind of goes along with it. But yeah. So let's see here. What else? What else going on? Everybody, watch out for the weather this week. That big tropical storm, hurricane coming up the East Coast. So that's supposed to hit land, I don't know, later today in the morning. I'm hoping I can dip in and dip out unless freight goes up. You know, sometimes like that drives freight rates up when a natural disaster hits, and you know, I'm not like capitalizing on people's misery, but you know, it does make a lot of drivers run out of the area. So, you know, supply and demand. You know, it's like Uber. If you really don't need the ride, you can wait. But if you need the ride, you got to pay. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Rick N says, what about Prime? Yeah, I'm going to tell you, just don't, me personally, don't get in a lease purchase. Don't do lease purchase. Prime, I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to learn the reefer game, I don't see nothing wrong with Prime. But you need to have some end goals with Prime. Because if you're not trying to learn the reefer game, I wouldn't even be a reefer driver as a company driver. There's too much sitting around, there's too much waiting, too much unpaid time. But as an owner-operator, you can, you know, you're getting paid a little extra to do all that. So I'm not as bummed about it. But as a company driver, especially if they're not going to pay me detention, like guaranteed detention, I'd be hard pressed to be a reefer driver. But Prime does pay pretty good, but you got to look at it like this as well. As a company driver, reefer is going to pay a little bit more than dry van, but you're not going to get as many miles as you would in a dry van. So remember that. If you're going to be a reefer driver, yeah, you're going to get paid a few more cents per mile, but you're going to make about the same at the end of the week. You know, it's kind of like flatbed. You're going to make a little bit more doing flatbed, but you're going to put in more work, you know. So it's all what you want to do. You know, but stay away from those lease purchases. Those lease purchases at any of these big mega fleets, they're hard to succeed. I'm not saying there's not good ones out there. I'm not saying people don't have titles of trucks, titles to trucks from those, but it is hard to make that work. Too many of them are set up for the company. You know, they're not set up for your success. Let's see what else is going on here. Rhino Ryan says, Sunday fun day. Yeah, appreciate everybody coming in. Jeremy Griggs says, Prime is good, just don't lease purchase. That's kind of what I was thinking, you know, like, you hear a lot of horror stories out of these big companies, but sometimes you just got to try them to see how your experience goes, because it's so different, you know. It's like, dispatchers make a big difference, load planners where you live makes a big difference, stuff like that. So yeah. And again, I appreciate Trucker Wild and K-Save. Appreciate those super chats. You guys are awesome. Trucker Wild TV says, on the hurricane standby now. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. If I get unloaded in the morning here in Atlanta, when I get it loaded in the morning, oh man, I popped the inspection door on the reefer to look at the freight, because the place I picked up from, they closed the doors and sealed it from the inside, so I didn't get a chance. So I popped the inspection door. I popped the inspection door this morning to look at it, and it's not good. The very back pallet, they double stacked them for no reason. There's room to unstack them, but they double stacked them, and the bottom layer of product is like collapsed under the weight. So I'm gonna have a fun morning in the morning, I'd imagine. I've got I just hope I don't have to like go to like some donation center with it or something, you know how it is sometimes. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm kind of with you. I'm waiting to see what happens with the hurricane. Maybe freight rates go up, and I'll run over to Carolina and get a load. For all I know. Ralph says, "Good afternoon, everyone." Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with me this afternoon. I was going to stay at my mom's house because I was there last night, and you know, I was enjoying that, but I was like, I better hurry up and get down toward Atlanta because I don't want to have to do like 4 or 5 hours in the morning. I didn't want to have to get up at like 1 o'clock, so I was like, I'll knock some of this out. Let's see. So I ran on down here. The new Love's down here. I've been trying to check this place out. It's always full when I come through, so that leaves me about I got about 80 miles to do in the morning. No big deal. I got a window delivery between 8 and 10, I think. 8 and 10. I have to double check that. So don't have to be up super early. Trucker Wild's in the house. He says Trucker Wild says 9 out of 10 lease purchases are set up to fail you. When you hear a walkaway lease, that tells you that they know you will be moving on once you catch on to the gig. Yeah, walkaway lease means do it before you sign, not after you sign. But yeah, those walkaway leases, man, they're rough. Like you said, it's just not set up for your success, DIY Semi in the house. Everybody go check out DIY Semi. He just hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, so you know that's legit. Appreciate him coming in. He says no Hirschbach. Yeah, Hirschbach to me, like when I look at all the lease purchases, and I haven't went through all of them obviously, but when I look at that one, even like 10 years ago when I looked at that one, in the little books you get at the truck stop, Hirschbach had it all lined out for you. Like if you run like 2,700 miles a week, you make this much revenue, here's your truck payment, here's everything. And when you got to the bottom of everything, there was like $1,000 left, and I'm like, what? I'm 2,700 miles for $1,000, and I'm a business owner? What? So that one has been off for years for me. But I don't know, like when you're getting $1 a mile and your truck payment and everything is like in the thousands of dollars, how do you make money at that? And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like I've tried lease purchase twice, and the first time I lasted 3 weeks and I was out of there. And then the second time it paid better, but they controlled everything about what I did. They wanted to control, everything about the truck, and they wanted to work on the truck at their shop because they wanted to take your maintenance account. And then they put tires on the truck that I didn't approve of, and they were like, we got a great deal on these. And I'm like, yeah, but they're not the right tires for the truck. This truck's supposed to have low profile tires on it, and now you've put tall rubber on it, and it changed the gear ratio, and I mean it was just misery. So that's another thing. Even if it is a good paying lease purchase, like that one, they just kept coming after they were just absolutely coming after my maintenance account. And what sucked was I left that place, and they kept that $3,000 I had in a maintenance account. DIY Semi in the house. He says roller grill on me. Wow, guys, thanks. I'm gonna have that's gonna be a hell of a meal I'm putting together here. Let's see. Freight Broker Trainer says brokerage, baby. Yeah. I would like to take a try at having a brokerage. I ain't saying I could do it. I know there's a lot of logistics to that, and a lot of selling. You know what I mean? I don't know if I got the sales skills to be a broker, because you really got to sell the customer with the freight, and you got to sell the trucker or the trucking company. So like you're selling that on both ends. Which, I don't know. I don't know if I got the sales skills to handle that. Sorry, guys. I cannot figure out what's going on with this other phone. I am trying to get it connected to the freaking internet. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Freight Broker Trainer says, shoot me a email. I'll walk you through it. Yeah. It's, to me, it seems like I mean, I knew a freight broker when I was growing up. He did mostly like he was a flatbed mostly. Like the town I grew up in did a lot of like nursery stock and a lot of like plants and a lot of agriculture. And he brokered a lot of that stuff, like moving equipment and hauling nursery stock. So, but man, he was a mover and a shaker. You know what I mean? Like he was into everything. Freight Broker Trainer says, shoot me an email, walk you through it. Net to 212,000. I'm assuming that's last year. Yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad. Did anybody see this story on? I was looking at CDL Life earlier. The news for trucks. Number one, Asian Mai was on there. Shout out to Asian Mai for being on the CDL Life. But no, there was this moving truck driver shot his co-worker. And it basically what it was, there was 3 of them. They were on a moving job. And I guess they got the job done. They were on the way back home. And the guy in the passenger seat had his window down. And the guy in the middle told him, hey, roll up your window. And so they got in an argument. The guy in the middle ended up pulling a gun on the dude, shooting the guy in the passenger seat, and throwing him out the window going down the road. And then, so they stop the truck. The driver gets out to check on the other guy. The guy that shot the guy that was in the middle, he tries to get away in the moving truck, but he can't get away because he can't drive a manual transmission. True story. True story. Could have got away with murder, but he couldn't shift gears, Yeah, Don. Yeah, I seen that too. That the guy hanging on the hood of the ABF truck, man, that was messed up. Like, I just don't know what that ABF driver was thinking. I know, like they said, the guy was like bashing in his windshield or whatever, but to be going down the road and like slamming on your brakes, trying to throw someone off the front of your truck, that's just not going to end well. Like, yes, K-Save. Yes, I was on the phone with my mom earlier, and there was a truck driver on the shoulder on the southbound side with like an electric guitar. He had his electric guitar, and he had his electric guitar, and he had on like a really like a denim shirt, and yeah, he had on a denim shirt and had it opened up, and he was out there in the shoulder or on the shoulder of the freeway, just playing his guitar like he was having a full blown concert going out there. I was kicking myself. I was kicking myself for not getting that on tape. I was so mad. I was like, I damn near, I thought about it, but I didn't do it. I thought about pulling in behind his truck and just recording it. Because I'm like, I could probably make more money on the YouTube video of this than I could driving this truck all day. Yeah, K-Safe thought he was tripping when he saw it. I didn't know what was going on out there, man. It was quite the scene. Let me tell you, it was quite the scene. Okay, you got a picture of it? Yeah, man, he was on the next level. I was trying to explain it to my mom going down the road, and I was like, she probably thinks I'm like hallucinating or losing my mind or something. But I was like, no, he's out there. He's out there doing it. Yeah, he was like, he had an electric guitar, but it wasn't plugged into anything. So yeah, it was strange. It was strange. It looked like he knew what he was doing, though. Yeah, I mean, I'll paint the pic for you. He kind of looked like Jimi Hendrix, but with no afro. He kind of had a Jimi Hendrix look going, like a '70s type vibe. You know, he had on his super tight bell bottoms, and he had on a long sleeve denim shirt, but it was unbuttoned, and he had like a bandana around his head. It was quite the scene, and he was like, his truck was parked on the shoulder, and he was off and like down, like there was like a ditch, you know. And he's down in the ditch with his electric guitar, just, I mean, like having the time of his life. And I was just thinking, like, what the hell's going on here, you know? Like, and like traffic was slowed down, and I don't know if they were slowed down because of him or you know. I wasn't sure. But yeah, it was quite the scene. It was quite the scene. I wish I'd have got that on tape for everybody. Let's see here. Yeah, thought I was tripping. I didn't know what was going on. Trucker Wild just applied for the brokerage under one of our authorities on ICE for the future. Very, very easy to do. Yeah, I mean, seems like to me, if you're willing to really jump into it and do the work, you know, you got a little financial backing where you know, you're not like, you know, your back's not against the wall all the time. It really seems like you could do good doing a brokerage. K-Save, I got a picture of it. Yeah. That was the scene, man. That made my day. I was like, God, you just can't, you know, imagine the things you can see in a day out here. I thought about trying to pull the dash cam footage on it, but my dash cam is pointed more like, you know, toward the hood of the truck. So I don't know what it would have really picked up, but yeah, quite the scene going out there. Quite the scene. K-Save says, yeah, Jimi Hendrix, dude gets Trucker of the Year award. Man, he was enjoying himself, you know, like, more power to him. He was out there, he was just having a great time. I thought about pulling over and talking to him, you know, I really did. I was gonna, I mean, you know, like, if you're having that good of a time, I need to be part of what's going on there. But yeah, what about the ABF driver that Don was talking about? I think it was Don said that. I missed one there. Philip Trucker says, getting out of Florida ahead of the storm. Yeah, it may not be a bad idea to get up out of there. Like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna get unloaded in the morning. I really, to be honest, we have not been even trying to look at loads. I looked at loads coming out of Atlanta. What was that, Friday afternoon? I was looking at some stuff out of Atlanta, but I don't know. I didn't want to book too far in advance because, you know, I like doing the last minute, you know. I don't mind sitting around waiting, you know. I'm more like a cat in the grass, you know. I'm just waiting for something good to come by. Don said, I saw the guy hanging off the hood of the ABF. Yeah, did they ever figure out what that guy on the hood of the ABF, what he had going on? Because, I mean, he was like half dressed, and they said he was like, he jumped up on the hood of the ABF truck in the middle of traffic. Of course, I don't know. I think ABF messed up, you know. ABF should have just parked and called the police or something, you know. Like, I'm all about having something in the truck to protect myself with as well. You know, it's like, if you jump up on the hood of my truck and you start bashing in my windshield, I'll probably just step back into the sleeper and see how far you make it through my windshield, because I guarantee you, when a leg or an arm comes through that windshield, you will wish you hadn't have put that arm or that leg through my windshield. You know, I mean, does it? I mean, is having a machete, a very, very, very sharp machete in your truck, is that legal? I think it should be. You know, like I think you ought to be able to protect yourself. And nothing says protection like a 3-foot blade. Uh, let's see what we got going on here. Jimi Hendrix, yeah. The White Knight says, "What do you do for health insurance?" I pay a lot of money for health insurance. I get it through the state of Minnesota. You can get, it's like the, what do they call it? The marketplace, the healthcare marketplace. Basically, it's like Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Minnesota or whatever. It's not cheap. I can tell you that it's not cheap. I don't have a very good policy on myself. Like I keep a high deductible policy because it's just not, it's expensive. Don says, I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know about that ABF guy. I don't know. I don't know what they had going on over there. That was an amazing video though. But yeah, I would say, like, if I was ABF, I wouldn't have moved the truck. Dude jumps on the truck, I pop the brakes. I call 911, and I protect myself. But I wouldn't be doing that, like trying to sling them off the front of the truck. Because I can tell you, ABF ain't going to be happy with that video, because ABF sees that and they're going to, can you imagine if you're the safety guy at ABF and you get sent that video? You probably have a heart attack right there. So, that was my thought. ABF probably fires that guy or puts him on some sort of leave or something, but it's not going to work out well for that guy. Don, all for the views. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I would like to see what happens to the guy at ABF. I hope he doesn't get fired. But at the same time, it's like, you know how these big corporations are, like ABF ain't gonna play with that. ABF's probably already got him on suspension or something, which is sad. You're just doing your job, and then all of a sudden some crazy person runs out in the freeway. You manage to not run them over. Philip Trigger says ABF is a union company. That guy will be fine. Yeah, you'd hope so. You hope so, but the unions just ain't what they used to be. Yeah, I hope he doesn't lose his job. It's tough because you're just doing your job. You're cruising down the freeway. You got the Aerosmith blaring through the radio, and you're just doing your job, and then bam, some crazy person's on the freeway. You manage to stop the truck, not hit him or kill him, and then the next thing you know, the idiot's on your hood kicking in your windshield. So I just pull the old machete. I call it the act right. You start acting stupid, and something like that'll make you act right. It's like that. It's like in Chicago the other day, that story I was telling you I seen Friday at 55 in Pulaski. Dude pulls in front of the street sweeper to try to block him in. And the street sweeper's like not even stressing it. Dude jumps out of his car, flips his hat around backwards. He's Billy Badass. He's gonna go. What is he gonna do? Number one, like get arrested for beating on some street sweeper or something? I don't even get it. But he jumps out of his car. He's gonna be all tough, and he runs up to the door of the street sweeper. And the street sweeper holds an aluminum ball bat out the door, like, you don't talk to me, talk to my aluminum ball bat. And the guy just turns around and gets in his car and drives off. So sometimes people just need a little act right, Let's see, what's we got going on here? The White Knight. I envy you. I'm out here 365 as an OTR company driver and make 65K. If I give up my life, I should get 100K a year. Yeah, White Knight, I believe it, man. If you're on the road 365, yeah, 65K, man. Where are you at? maybe time to start looking around if you got some options to look around. Um, I would suggest is if you're out there 365, Mr. White Knight, you need to check out Trucker Wild. Go watch Trucker Wild. Subscribe to Trucker Wild. Watch him. He is doing some. He's doing some military work. Doing like specialized freight over at I can't think of it. Panther. Is Panther owned by ABF? I think Panther is owned by ABF now, aren't they? But either way, Trucker Wild's doing really good over there, so maybe something like that. Crete. Yeah, Crete's not a bad company from what I hear, but 65K is a little light, in my opinion. I know the Crete, I do a lot of Walmart up in Mankato, and Crete runs that Walmart up there, as far as the OTR part of it. And they do, they in their ads, they say they pay $77,000 a year to run out of that distribution center right there. So, yeah. Yeah, check out Trucker Wild on that. And or GP Transco. Have you thought about GP Transco? You know, they say they're averaging about 88,000 a year over there. If you want to stay as a company driver. Um, but yeah, to be gone 365 days a year as an OTR, yeah, 65 is a little light. $17 years of experience with all endorsements. Wow, lower pay at GP. I thought they bragged about like $88,000 a year. They're supposed to be like the third highest paying company out there. Yeah, me personally, 65,000 for a year of OTR, I would be doing something more specialized. You know, I'd find me a hazmat tanker or something like that. Like in Minneapolis, there's for like, if you're like a regional hazmat tanker guy, they're paying like 80 to 100,000 a year to be, to haul gasoline or diesel around, something like that. I would definitely have to, but that's me. I'm all about the most money I can make. Like, I don't care if it's harder work or whatever. I'd rather do that than, let's see. Yeah, 17 years with all endorsements. Yeah, that's 65 is a little low for that. No disrespect, but yeah, I would definitely be shooting for more than that. Especially being on the road all the time. I don't know where you live or anything, but I know like Minneapolis, you can get 65 as a local driver around there. Like, what is that? Like, if you could get like $22 an hour, somewhere in that ballpark, you probably get that same 65, something like that. 50, 60 hours a week. Philip Trucker says, you checked into Old Dominion. Yeah, I would probably do one of those, pull doubles or something, because let's see, I know Saya. The only thing I don't like about Saya is they have a driver facing camera, but I checked into them. I talked to them one time, and out of Minneapolis, you're gone like all week, but you're home like, usually on the weekends or like every 10 days they route you through the house. And yeah, they're making like 75, 80,000 pulling doubles around, and you don't even sleep in the truck. You get a hotel every day. A lot of nights though. You do have to do a lot of nights. Old Dominion's a good one. Old Dominion, R&L. Those are good paying LTL companies right there. Let's see. The White Knight, 50 cents per mile at GP Transco. Yeah, 50 cents a mile. You say, like I watched the this guy trucks. He's over there now. He says it's a lot of miles though over there because of the way they got everything set up. So yeah, probably similar to Crete. Like you do 130,000. Yeah, probably ballparking it. Rick N, how many miles do you run a week? Me, as few as possible, but I mean the most money. But I think we're talking about Philip Church's White Knight. How many miles you running? White Knight, 27 to 3,100 miles a week. So I don't know, what is that per mile? Like that's probably like 50, 55 cents a mile, something like that. White Knight, no accidents, no tickets. Yeah, man. I feel like that's a 65 is a little low for that. You're bringing a lot to the game for 65,000 a year. Like no tickets, no accidents, all endorsements. The White Knight, I don't have a home. I need to live in the truck. Yeah, I don't think most OTR companies would have a problem with that, honestly. How to Garden. Hello, How to Garden. Hello, everyone. Rick N, White Knight. If you get 50 cents a mile, 2,700 a week. That's 72,000 a year. Yeah. Paul Harris says, up to 57 cents per mile at GP Transco. Yeah, I thought GP Transco had a lot of little add-ons. Like if you do the driver-facing camera, you get an extra 2 cents a mile, which, depending on how picky they were about that, I might try it for a week or two, and see if they let me get away with can I have one hand off the wheel, or they watching me if I ain't at 10 and 2, I get a call or something like that, I would think about that, If everybody could hit that thumbs up button for me, that pushes it out a little bit to more people. Yeah, so back to GP Transco, yeah, they do, 57 cents a mile. Yeah, they got like a fuel bonus, a safety bonus, things like that. White Knight, yes, 72, but I give up everything. I want 100K. Yeah, you're gonna have to get a little bit more specialized to get up there around that 100K, or you're gonna have to take more risk, which means buy a truck and run a business. But if you don't want to do that, like there are some jobs out there where, like hazmat tanker, like I see those ads in Minneapolis before, like regional hazmat tanker paying like, 80 to 100K. I know R&L pays really good to run doubles with a sleeper truck. That pays really good. Yeah, probably going to have to get more specialized or team. If you like teaming, there's always more money in teaming. So yeah, I don't know if training, I don't know if training would be the way to go or not. Possibly, depending on, I tried training as a company driver, and man, it's tough for me. Because I'm not, I don't know. It's like we're equals. We both work for the same company, but I need the person to listen to what I say. You know, especially, you know, like if we were just teams, I wouldn't think that way. We would be equals. But if I'm training you, when I say, you know, we're going to do it this way, you know, that's how it needs to be. Um, so I have trouble with training new people. Um, like I picked a guy up in West Memphis one time to train him, and we made it across the state of Arkansas, and I dropped him like a bad habit because he would not listen to anything I said. I mean, he was arguing with me down to the point of USA Truck wants the headlights on. They want all the lights on the truck. Anytime it's moving, they want the lights on. And he was arguing with me. Oh, I didn't hear him say that. And I'm like, it's the very first page in the manual. You know, like obviously you didn't read the manual. And, you know, he argued everything. Following too close in a construction zone. I told him, slow down. He said, oh, well, there's traffic backing up behind us. I was like, I don't care. Slow down. That person in front of us taps the brake. We're both in trouble. So slow down. He just kept riding her ass. So I told him next exit, I said, pull into the Pilot, and I'm going to drive from here on. So, you know, I can't tolerate training. Not for me. So yeah, training, training's not necessarily for me. Just not my thing. Let's see what everybody's saying here. We're discussing the White Knight situation here. If anybody new just came in, the White Knight works for Crete. He made $65,000 last year. Anybody got any suggestions on a way to make up? He wants to be up around $100,000 a year, and you know, my suggestion would be buy you a nice fuel efficient truck, preferably one you're you know, familiar with. Like if Crete's got you running a Freightliner and you like it, go buy a Freightliner. You know, you can get like a 2016, 2017 Cascadia right now from a dealership. I know I see a lot of people talking about auctions and stuff, but be wary of these auction trucks. You know, a lot of these, there's a reason a lot of these trucks go to auction. I'm not saying you can't catch a deal at an auction, but I'm saying like a lot of times trucks go to auction for a reason. It's because people don't want to repair them and they end up at the auction. So be wary of that. But you can go to a good dealership right now and you can get a 2016, 2017 Cascadia between like, you know, between like 35 and 45,000 right now, which is not a huge investment on a truck. And a lot of them still have manufacturer warranty to like 500K. You know, you can get those in like the 400,000 mile range. And find you a good carrier to lease it onto, a good percentage-based carrier that's preferably one that's got some direct freight. You know, if you're going to lease onto a carrier, think of it like this. What is that carrier doing for me that's worth 20, 15, 10, 20% of the money I earn? Do they have direct customers? Because that's worth money. Do they let you use their trailer for free? Because that's worth money. You know, make sure you're getting your money's worth from them to do that. But maybe that's a way to go. You know, go put 40,000 down on a truck and you know, go about it that way. Because you know, if you run that hard and you live in the truck, yeah, 100,000 should not be like unobtainable. You know, it's really not. Let's see. Where was I at? The White Knight says up to is the key word. Yeah. I mean, you know, like when these companies say up to 88,000, you know, I'm like, what, is one guy there making 88,000 and everybody else is making, you know, 60,000? You know, it makes you wonder, you know. Rick N says White Knight, then I'd suggest buying your own truck. Yeah, I mean, to me, in this country, there is no quicker way to prosperity than owning your business. Like, work for yourself, build equity in yourself, build equity in your own company, if that's something you're willing to risk. But for me, it's like, I don't know. It's the best way to prosperity. This country is set up for business owners. You know, like the tax breaks, the tax code, everything is set up for a small business or a big business, really, but business in general. Um, you know, let's see. Sean Bailey, haven't been watching lately. Missed the videos. Not a fan of live. Do sometime to time. Yeah, appreciate you coming in, Sean Bailey. Some people like the recorded videos. Some like the live. I like popping in on the lives just to, like this afternoon. I got nothing better to do. When it gets a little cooler, I'll probably go in, take a shower and get this scruff shaved off. I hate being scruffy. But yeah, I like doing the lives. I like having a conversation with everybody. Let's see. Lost my place here. Let me figure out where I was at. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in. Thanks everybody. Let's see what's going on. Oh, there it is. Sean Bailey. Okay. Haven't been watching lately. Missed the videos. Not a fan of live. Do some time to time. Yeah. I'll put out probably my weekly recap video. I'll probably may record that this afternoon because I am done with the week as far as I'm not going to buy any more fuel or anything. I got to deliver this in the morning and then that'll be my week. I thought I was going to have a crappy week, but this load kind of saved the week, really. Been a good week, though. I spent a night at the house in Minnesota, and then I spent the night at my mom's last night. So I like this route this week, Getting to be home at the week and then go visit family. It's one of the small perks of being an over-the-road truck driver. Quentin Walls says, watch this guy trucks. He did a video on GP Transco. Yeah, he works over there now. We was talking about that guy earlier. This guy trucks, and he did a review, like a 1 month review. He seems like he's getting a lot of miles, and I mean, I could see how a company set up like that. It's like a lot of dropping hooks. Like the trucks go, I think, like 67, 68 miles an hour. So, if you time it out right, you stay out of major cities during certain hours of the day when possible, you could really put in a lot of, miles in a week. Like, I had weeks when I had a 65 mile an hour governed truck, but I was doing a lot of dropping hooks. I could turn, 3,500 miles a week, but do I want to do that every week? No, but you can. And I don't think he has any real reason to lie. I mean, I don't think they're paying him to do the videos about GP Transco. I'm sure if you go there and you say he sent you, I'm sure he gets a recruiting bonus, but I don't think he's one of those guys that would draw you in there just to get a recruiting bonus and then, for a crappy company. And GP Transco puts out a lot of information about themselves. So, I don't know if Wild Bill's still in here. Wild Bill went and visited GP Transco. He doesn't work there. He just stopped in to see what they were up to. So, you might want to try that one day. Cruise by their office and just go in and talk to them. And I'm not promoting or demoting them. I'm just saying, like, let's see. Paul Harris says GP Transco camera has AI and will let them know if you have an eyes not focused on the road. This guy looked down to fill his vape and he got a call. Yeah, stuff like that makes me not want the driver facing camera. I had a driver face. Only time I've ever had a driver facing camera was when I worked at Sysco Foods. I was doing local delivery for Sysco Foods, and theirs was set up where if you had like some sort of like critical event, like you swerved or you stopped too fast or whatever, it would kick the camera on for like 8 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that. So I was cruising down the road eating a sandwich, and I hit a pothole, and it set off the um, camera, and I got in trouble for that because you're not supposed to be doing anything other than driving the truck. And I'm like, I don't know, like drinking some water, because that's a rough job working at Cisco. That's a manually intensive, that's a labor intensive job. So if you eat a sandwich in between stops, I feel like that ought to be one of those things they kind of let slide because you're probably burning like 5,000, 6,000 calories a day doing that job. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't think they should have got on me about that. Let's see. So yeah, I'm not a fan of driver facing cameras. So I'd probably tell them to keep their 2 cents, and I'd keep my sanity. Probably how that would work. The White Knight says, "Is it true trainers get $120,000?" That would be on the. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how they set it up. Like at USA Truck, the way they done it was the trainer got all the miles for the truck. He got paid his rate for all the miles, and then the trainee got like $350, $400 a week. So the way that works, but it wasn't really like team miles. You might get like, instead of like my normal week there, it might be like 2,500. As a trainer, it might be like 3,500. You're not going to get double the miles because they don't want you to run like a team necessarily. They want you to like do some training. Like, so they want you to put a little time in on that. So yeah, 120 a year for a trainer would be pretty high. And I mean, it just depends on how they pay. Just depends. But yeah, 120 to be a trainer, boy, that is, because what is 120? That's about 2,400 a week, somewhere in that ballpark. So yeah, I mean that's pretty darn high, 2,400 a week. For a 120, I would think that'd be a little high. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know how they pay over there, but 120 for that to be a trainer, it seems a little high. Of course, I don't know for sure. Rick N says you shouldn't have to train as well as drive to make a living. Yeah, there's a lot of companies that do that. When you sign up to be a trainer, you're basically signing up to team with a new guy. That's basically what you're doing. You're not really training. You're teaming with a new guy. So I don't know. That seems very high to me. Just saying. I would question that. I would want to see the numbers, like like how they pay the trainer, what your rate is. Is there a bonus for being a trainer? Because like at USA Truck, like I said, they paid you for the miles you drove and the miles that the other person drove. But it really didn't never equal up to like double the miles because they didn't run you like a team. And so yeah, you really didn't get any kind of bonus other than the miles they drove. And typically it would be like, if you drove 300-400 miles a day, they would drive like probably 100 to 300 miles a day. Yeah, so you would have like some 700-800 mile days in there, but which is pretty good, I mean, if you're at a really high pay rate, I guess. But let's see. Paul Harris, drop and hook is key to becoming a company driver. Yeah. That's like I was saying earlier, if I was going to be a company driver, if I was giving someone advice starting out, especially being a company driver, a couple things I'd really have to have is, number one, no compete clause would be out the window. Now, we ain't even talking about that. Number two, I'd have to be paid practical miles because I hate working for free. And the next big one for me would be I probably wouldn't be a refrigerated or a flatbed. I'd just be a dry van. And I'd want to drop and hook, drop and hook, drop and hook. I'd want it as easy as possible because you're only getting paid by the mile. That's pretty much the only way you get paid, unless you're doing some sort of stop pay. So if I'm only getting paid by the mile, I need to be getting as many miles as possible, flat out, you know. And drop and hook is where you get the most miles. Preferably, like, and keep me out of the Northeast, because to me, too much traffic, too much holdup in the Northeast as a company driver getting paid by the mile. So yeah, I would be pretty picky, you know, like that guy earlier was talking about, you know, going to Werner as, a starter company. And yeah, I mean, Werner's probably got drop and hook everywhere, you know, like, that's, to me, that's, one of those companies, like, as long as they're not like super low paying, yeah, I'd probably take a run at that. Quentin Walls says, what's up, Cash? Cisco, I worked for them. I'm just waiting to get released from light duty. Broke my neck in November. Fell head first out of the trailer. Wow. Yeah, Cisco is no joke, let me tell you. I'll be honest with you. I probably might. There's a high likelihood if Cisco would have quit screwing me around and hired me, I'd probably still be working at Cisco right now. I enjoyed the work. I was probably about 40 or 50 pounds lighter than I am now doing that job. But man, I was sore all the time. My knees, my shoulders, everything stayed sore. Because mostly what I would do is I would get like one day through the week off, and then everybody had Sunday off. So, but even in like 5 days, I mean, I was getting like minimum 60 hours a week, 70, 80 hours a week. Paid good, overtime after 8 hours. The only problem with it was they wouldn't hire me on. They had me as a casual driver working 70 hours a week as a casual driver. And I'm like, guys, I'm getting like $17 an hour and I'm making quota, on my own routes. Like, I'm a casual driver and I've got my full-time routes and I'm working 70 hours. Like, hire the guy on, and they just kept putting it off because they do that up there in Minneapolis. That's the problem with Cisco, Minnesota, right there. They don't want to hire anybody on. They got their little, crew of like 100 drivers, and then they want to bring everybody else on and just beat them to death with the hard routes. You know what I mean? I was doing like the university routes, man. Those are brutal. Like 5 days a week. I was in South Minneapolis in the ghetto. I was doing like all the little Mexican restaurants that take those freaking sodas in the glass bottles, like the worst of the worst routes. And I was fine with it. I mean, I enjoyed it. But man, they was goofing me around. I was like, I can't do it, guys. You got to either hire me on or I got to go on. Because, like, even at overtime after 8, it's like, even with overtime, I was only making like $24 an hour. Straight pay was like $16.80 something an hour. And I'm like, you realize if you guys would hire me on, I would be on the quota system. So I would get a minimum of $21 an hour. But, hitting the quotas I was hitting, I would have been making like $25 an hour. And then working 70 hours a week at $25 an hour with free health care, I was down for it. But they kept goofing me around. Just, and finally I was like, all right, I got to go do something else. Because, Minneapolis is an expensive city to live in. The White Knight says, let me get back to what I was doing. But yeah, man, I liked Cisco. I enjoyed it. It was tough work, but it was fun. See, the White Knight says, seems like a lot of work though. These companies should pay $100K for a guy like me. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, White Knight. I think there's a lot of people out here, especially the guys that have done OTR for quite a while. I was watching the interview with This Guy Trucks, the ones that's with GP Transco now, and Mark from Trucking Answers the other day. They did like a live together, or not a live, but they did a video together, and they were talking about, OTR drivers should make $100,000 a year, and I totally agree. Like, the fact that there's a reason I tell people OTR drivers should make a lot of money. Number one, it's because of the sacrifice of being gone all the time. You know, like I miss birthdays, I've missed graduations, I've missed so much. So, you number one, you should be getting paid great for that. And number two is the risk involved, because you can put years into this job and build up seniority and do everything, and then one idiot can do something stupid on the road and screw your whole career up, you know, and you not have a say so or anything about it. Um, so yeah, to me, risk, you know, there's a lot of risk in it. So you should be getting paid mainly, in my opinion, for those two things: the risk and the sacrifice. And 100,000 does not seem, you know, I think, like, to me, like a good starting pay is like, you know, your first year. I think in your first year, if you can pull down like 50 to 60K your first year, that's where it ought to be. And then, like, when you get into that 1 year to 3 years, you ought to be up in, like, you know, 75, 80,000 a year. And then by the time you get to your third, fourth, fifth year, you should be in $100,000 like it ain't nothing. Like, you know, 100,000 plus. But yeah, there's too many people that don't understand the industry, that stick with these horrible companies that underpay, that keep the wage suppressed, you know. And I mean, I don't blame them. I'm not knocking the people, because, you know, it's like when I started in the industry, I didn't know enough about it to realize, you know, like what good pay was, what bad pay was. Because if you're, say you come out of a manufacturing or a warehouse job or an office job, you're making, say, $500 a week. Okay, well, now you go to truck driving school and you're getting paid $750 a week. That's like a 50% increase in pay. You know, like, you went from 500 to 750. You think you're killing it, you know, at first, and then all the reality set in of how expensive it is to live on the road, and you're gone all the time. You're missing everything. Then that 750 don't look so good, but when you first came in, it did look good because it was a big pay bump, you know. So I think that's a big part of why wages stay low, is a lot of people new in the industry, you know, they get taken advantage of. But yeah, I agree, man. 100,000 shouldn't be that big a deal for an OTR driver. Let's see, Philip Trucker, my company pays an extra 10 cents if you cross into Maryland or Pennsylvania, so all the Northeast. Yeah, companies like that should pay more for that area, because you're not going to get the money in up there. You're really not. You're not going to get the miles. Last time I went up to Massachusetts, I mean, it was like misery coming back down out of there. Like, middle of the day, you know, we're doing 30 mile an hour on the freeway. Let's see. Yeah, an extra 10 cents, Maryland, Pennsylvania, yeah. Definitely should get paid more to run those areas. Let's see. The White Knight says Cisco is called blood money. You actually bleed during the day for the work. Yeah. Cisco is, like I said, it's one of those, you definitely pay your dues. As far as, like, you get the crap routes in the beginning. Yeah. And, like, if you pull something or you strain something, like, you still got to come back and do it all again tomorrow. You know, you got to lift those 5-gallon buckets of pickles that weigh, you know, 40 or 50 pounds. And, you know, you got to lift, you got to take those, 10 cases of 50-pound potatoes down a flight of stairs. It's got to happen. It's, you know, with or without you, it's happening. So, it's a rough job. But yeah, it sucks. He fell out of the trailer. Quentin says, fell out of the trailer and broke his neck. Dang. In November. Fell headfirst out of a trailer. I fell off that dang ramp my very first day, and luckily it was in the winter. I had on a big heavy coat, and it kind of padded my fall. I landed on a case of pineapples, and let me tell you, if you're gonna fall on something, don't fall on pineapples. Um, it didn't break my fall at all. Um, it was about the same as hitting the pavement. Um, and the other time I fell out of the trailer, I landed on those plastic containers of cherry tomatoes, and I thought I like broke my leg because like it was all like red when I got up, and then I was like, "What the heck is that on my pants?" And it was tomato seeds, because. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, Cisco's a trip, man. Cisco's a trippy job. Philip Trigger says, was dropping in Fort Lauderdale this morning and the place was closed. No one there. Dispatch told me to go under the gate and let myself in. Yeah. That's iffy. Depends on what kind of place it is. I wonder if they were closed because of the hurricane situation, because I seen a thing about that, said it was like a reminder for the truckers, call your customers if they're in that area and make sure they're going to be open Monday. Says they sent it to me in writing. I said, okay. Yeah, I mean, you did get it in writing, but I mean, the police don't care. If the police show up and get you for trespassing, may cause trouble, but depends on where you're at. Let's see. Paul Harris says, I hated deliveries to Cisco. Always took forever, but I took pity on the Frito drivers unloading the trailers that were hand packed. Ouch. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of delivering to Cisco. They typically got too much going on, It's like U.S. Foods and all those guys. It's rough. It's rough. Don says, damn, I'm northeast dropping hook overnight, 85K regional running, my 70 out every week. Yeah, that's not bad. Dropping and hooking during the night, that's the way you'd want to do it in the northeast. That way you can actually get some miles in. Let's see. 85K regional running out my 70 every week. That ain't bad, 85K. That's regional running. Yeah, that's pretty good for regional. Keep you in the area. That's why I always tell people, like, starting out, like fresh out of school, if you can find a regional company, I think it's just better, because you stay in an area and you learn that area. And I know there's some companies that they don't count regional driving as OTR, but honestly, if they don't got no common sense to that point, I don't want to work for them anyway, because Averitt called a 31 state, basically the Southeast, the Midwest, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Iowa, like it was basically the whole eastern side of the U.S., just not like New York State and like past New York, Northeast. You didn't go into that area, but it was 31 state regional. Like, that's OTR. Like, 31 states is not regional. Regional is like 10, 11 maybe states, but not 31. So yeah, when I left Averitt, there was places I applied to, and they were like, "Oh, well, you were on a regional run. We don't count regional as OTR." And I'm like, I run the same area your company, your OTR company runs, because they were like, we run everything east of I-35, and I'm like, that's basically what Averitt did. So I'm glad as I get older, I'm glad I don't work for those people like that, But yeah, Don, that's not a bad setup. 85K regional, man. So you're in areas, the White Knight says, where, Don? I'm from Connecticut. The White Knight, Don, I can live in my truck. Can I live in my truck every day? Uh, Newburgh, New York. Don says my terminal is in Newburgh, New York. Is that sleeper truck, Don? Are you in a sleeper truck on that regional? Let's see. Rick Ian says freight rates don't support every OTR driver making $100,000 a year. They should. That's my point. They should. You know, like, and when I say, like, yeah, not every driver. I'm not saying like day one, fresh out of school, you ought to be making 100K. But if you've got 3 years, 4 or 5 years of experience in, you should be making 100K. And honestly, if the rates don't support that, that freight shouldn't be moving. Like, just my opinion. Because, like, I don't know. I don't know many owner operators out there that would run for under 100,000 a year. As far as what they pay themselves. Because a big thing of what I think is going on with pay is there's too many middlemen in the scenario. If you work for a company, they got the safety guy. Most of them don't do jack shit, and they make like 70,000 a year, 50 to 70,000 a year. You got a lot of fat on the dispatch. You know what I mean? I ain't saying dispatch makes a lot of money, but a lot of them ain't worth $10,000 a year, much less 30,000 a year. Load planners, like I think a lot of the trucking industry is it's just bodies in chairs. I think a lot of that could be sorted out. But yeah, I think freight rates should support 100,000 a year. Especially, like if a guy's putting in 120, 130,000 miles a year, that's not crazy. The problem is there's too many middlemen in it. The White Knight, you are doing Roan right. Let's see what's going on here. Quentin Wall says, yes, good money non-union was working my ass off, but I still made 82,000 by November. But I've been doing it for 5 years, and the benefits are not that great. Maybe look for something else when it's over. Yeah, I was doing it up at in Minneapolis, and the Minneapolis Cisco is a union shop, so but it's good and bad. It's like, yeah, free benefits, free health care, decent pay, good quota match, like stuff like that was good, and overtime after 8. And basically up there, I know a lot of Cisco's, they cut you off at like 45, 50 hours, but up there, they would just let you work. Like they didn't, like you could have, there was guys putting in like 80 hours, so it's, Cisco's are so different from every area, because we had a guy that came over from Las Vegas Cisco, and he was like, well, yeah, out there we 45 hours and they send us home. They're doing like four days a week out there to keep the overtime down. So. But yeah, 82 is good money, especially if you're home every day, that type of thing. The White Knight Cash, do you net 120 after expenses and health care? Yeah. Yeah, 120 is not that big, not that hard to hit. I mean, it depends on the year. You get a crappy year, but it can go down a little bit. But I think 100K. You buy you a fuel efficient truck and you lease it on to somebody that's got some direct freight, or get your own authority. If you want to be independent, get your own authority. There's a lot of guys that are making 120, 150,000 a year. Did you think of it like Crete? Like they're probably doing a lot of contract freight over there, but at the same time, Like, you know, look at all the people you're supporting with your work at a company like that. You know, dispatch, mechanics, like, you know, all those guys save the company money, but none of them really make the company money. You know, you're the one making the company the money. The guy in the seat driving the truck, picking the freight up, moving it, that's the guy making the company money. Everybody else is there to help save that money, but they're also getting paid out of that money. And yeah, let's see. Don says, I have a home in Kingston that I take my rest at. Otherwise, I live in the truck, and any guy who does the same thing. Okay. So, so that is a sleeper truck, Don. I was just wondering, you know, because you said you had a terminal there. I didn't know if that was like a, you know, go to the terminal, pick up the truck, do a run, bring it back every day. Because that's pretty good. 85K a year for regional work is pretty good. Um, let's see. Don says, but for all this time I'm out in a truck, I really want to buy my own and make more money. Yeah, I mean, there's good opportunity to make more. You know, it's owning a business though, so you got to consider that. You know, there is a chance that you will lose money. There is a chance that it will, you know, it will not go as planned. But to me, it's a calculated risk. It just is. Let's see. Don says, and I don't want to go to the city. Okay, for that 85K, you go into the city a lot. But I make as much as some of the owner operators there because they are not runners. So if I could do it, I will be leaving. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, it's a calculated risk, and I put the numbers out there every week, so you know that gives you a good idea of, you know, and there's other drivers that put out good numbers that are legitimate, you know, like BOC Enterprises. You know, he puts his numbers out there. He's got his own authority, you know, and honestly, that would be a good one. That'd be a good channel to subscribe to because he's in the Northeast as well. He lives in Connecticut. Um, so that might be something to look into, you know. Let's see, the White Knight pineapples are very bad. Yeah, my very first day, I think it might have been the third stop, second or third stop. You know, I was had the you know, two-wheel dolly, you know, with the brakes and everything. You know, the real fancy ones. Going down the ramp, and instead of watching like a little farther out, I was looking like straight down, and I wasn't watching like how my line was going. So I caught one of the tires on the side of the ramp, and it twisted the dolly, and it threw everything. And then I went, you know, head diving out over everything, and yeah, I did a belly flop on a case of pineapples. Really made me think about what I was doing with my life. Let's see, the White Knight says, Don, let's see, White Knight, do you do the 5 boroughs? Don says, nope. The White Knight says, what company, and can I definitely live in the truck? He may not want to put the name of his company out there. I don't know if he does or he don't. You know, it's something. It's one of those things. Maybe maybe make you up an email and shoot it out there if he doesn't want to put his, you don't have to put your main email. Just make up a fake email or something, and or like set up an email that you don't care for everybody to see, and maybe throw it in there, and maybe he'll get to you. But let's see. The White Knight says, what company, and can I definitely live in the truck? Don says, haul empty Anheuser-Busch cans or Pepsi, then AC and SB. C and S backhaul. So you haul the empty cans, like just the normal soda cans and beer cans? That'd be a pretty easy haul, it seems like. What's that weigh? About 10,000 pounds, maybe? And then CNS backhauls. Good old CNS. Josh Crouch. That's only $22 an hour, so to each their own. The White Knight. CNS blows. Yeah, CNS is a little rough. I was at CNS last weekend. Last Sunday I had a CNS delivery, and pretty smooth. I was in and out of that joker in like 2 hours for a full truckload. Or wait, maybe that was a multi-stop. I can't remember. I know my last stop was CNS. Went pretty good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, typically CNS is like an all-day adventure. Philip Trucker, I still like coast to coast with a truck. I could do the speed limit out west. Yeah, definitely. Coast to coast with the most. I don't know. I got my little lanes I like. I run like Minnesota. Of course, our main customers, like our direct customers where I'm at, are out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis area, and Chicago. So I typically try to stay in those areas because they don't force you to take direct customer freight here, but they also, they don't care what you take, but you're not going to find freight that pays as good as the direct customers, because those direct customers, they do their fuel surcharge on a national average, and so, they're very competitive with spot market as far as that goes, but the rate itself, it blows spot market out of the water. So that's why I say to most people, if you're gonna lease on to somebody, check and make sure that company that you're leasing on to has some direct customers, because that's a huge benefit. You're not fighting the spot market all the time. So basically what I do, my business model is get a load out of Minneapolis or Chicago, preferably direct customer, run it to where it's going, find a backhaul that's coming straight back to one of those two cities, Chicago or Minneapolis, and repeat, rinse and repeat, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I've got connections that, over the years of just booking freight and doing things, and I've got connections that when I get in certain areas, there's certain people I call, because I know they got certain loads going to certain areas. And you just build your business, you figure out how to make the money and where the money's at, and who's got the money and how to get it. And it's pretty much business 101, I guess you'd say. But yeah, nothing wrong with coast to coast. Alexandra, appreciate you coming in. Alexandra says, I do 14 state regional. Yeah, you're up in the Midwest, right? If I remember that correctly. That's a good place to be up there, I'm thinking probably in the next few years, I'm probably going to tighten up my region I run. I probably won't be coming down to the Southeast as much. I'm thinking about, because, I got, the only problem is the good paying loads out of our direct customers comes out, like to Texas, Houston, Georgia, they're like 1,000 to 1,500 mile runs. So that's why I do the longer ones, but I don't know. I would probably like to stick more up in that area. So yeah, I'll probably be joining you pretty soon, Alexandra, with the 14 state regional. I mean, I like running the Midwest. But you really got no major cities that just torment you. Chicago's pretty rough, but to be honest with you, um, you know, I don't do a lot of like interior Chicago. I stay around the outer edges. Sometimes I do run into Chicago. I had a delivery the other day, pretty much, a little farther into town than I normally like to be, but that wasn't a customer load anyway. That was a load I had to pick up to cover for a customer load had a customer load cancel on me. I had booked down to Chicago, and I'd already booked a customer freight out of Chicago, so I had to scramble around in the middle of the afternoon try to find a load to Chicago. So that's why I ended up down there. Let's see. Don says, I'm just a drop and take and empty out. Okay. Terminal is only 5 minutes away from there. Okay, yeah. That seems pretty convenient. Dip in, dip out. White Knight says Cash is king for president. Yeah, I'm running for president. Anybody want to write me in? I'll take your votes. Let's see. Where was I at here? The White Knight, 100K. Yeah, I like that idea of like you're wanting the 100K. You've got you've got a place where you want to be, and the fact of the matter is, if the place you're at can't get you there, then you gotta think otherwise. Gotta think otherwise. Let's see. Don says, I've never been OTR straight out of school to this company 6 years ago. There you go. No reason to be OTR if you got if you can get a gig like that. Back in my day, it was I don't know. It was a little weird. Like 15 years ago, a lot of local places that they just wanted like 6 months of experience. So pretty much everybody went OTR for a little while. But nowadays, it's really changed. A lot of these LTL companies will train you straight off the dock to be a driver. A lot of them, like Cisco, U.S. Foods, they'll train you right. Like if you'll be a warehouse picker, or an order selector for like 3 months, they'll start training you on your CDL. So you got a lot more options these days, especially if you live near a major city. Don says it's a sleeper. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering about that. Just wondering. Sounds like a pretty sweet gig, though. Yeah, even with something like that regional, even if it is, I would rather have a sleeper truck. You just never know when you're going to get caught out somewhere. So having a sleeper is like really convenient. The White Knight's asking Don what company. Yeah, like I said, he may not want to give out his company. Some people don't. Some people don't want to put that out there for reasons. But I don't know. If you want to throw an email address or something in there, White Knight, maybe he'll talk to you offline. Let's see. Let's see. White Knight, can I get more than 85K? See, Anthony Drummond. What's up, Anthony? Appreciate you coming in. He says, what's up, driver? Last day for vacation. Oh, man. That's a sad day, man, when the vacation runs out. Hopefully it was a good one. See, the White Knight, correct on Crete. Yeah. Okay, so Don threw it out there. He says NFI and at top pay after 5 years, get paid for stop pay and drop and hook. Okay. Yeah, NFI is big up there in the Northeast. Yeah, I get commercials for NFI a lot on YouTube these days, so they must be pushing for some drivers. So yeah, you may want to check them out, White Knight. Um, let's see here. Anthony Drummond, I thought the average revenue for a single tractor trailer is capable of grossing 200,000 a year. Oh yeah, if we talking gross, 200's not that hard. You know, if you run hard, yeah, if you run hard, you should be well above two, depending on how you get, how you get paid and everything. But you know, I have a lot of weeks that are like, $6,000, $7,000 a week, and you figure that up on a year, that's like 300 to 350,000 a year. So, it's not impossible. Let's see. The White Knight says gross is key. Yeah, I mean, I put the numbers out there every week. You could kind of, just go through the weekly recap videos and kind of keep up with it. Kind of figure out what your truck payment would be and all that good stuff, and then kind of see, my goal is like, what I go for is like 3,000 a week after, like everything except for like my personal stuff, like I like everything on the truck done, fuel, maintenance account, everything, payments, insurance. I like everything done, and I like to bring about 3 to the house. Let's see. Quentin Wall says, not home every night and some 2-day runs. I work the one out of Lincoln, Nebraska. They cover 17 states. My first 2 year, I had a 3-day route to Chicago. Okay. Yeah, most of the ones that are not union have like those runs, because Minneapolis didn't have any multi-day runs. You were home every single day, but we had guys that would come up from, I want to say Des Moines, Iowa. They would come up and do, like, they had a hospital route they did. It's because they were like under a national contract, kind of like what you're talking about. Like they covered like multiple states for one customer. So we didn't do those hospitals. They would have a team come up and do that. But yeah, if I was going to go back to like Cisco or something like that, I would probably do McLean. McLean's a lot more uniform with their deliveries. Like most of it comes in those plastic totes. A lot of convenience stores. There are some food service in there, but like in Minneapolis, and this might be something to check out as well, White Knight, look at McLean, because in Minneapolis, McLean says their average driver makes 80,000 a year, and those are multiple day runs, but you're literally home like every 3 days. You'll go out for like a day or two, and then you'll be back. You'll get like a day off, then you'll go out for a day or two, come back, get a day off. So it's like you get like 2 days off a week, but you couldn't live in the truck. Yeah, so that may keep you from doing that if your strategy is living in the truck, because if you're doing that to like save money or whatever, McLean probably wouldn't be the way to go on that. But yeah, I looked into McLean. They had some pretty impressive numbers. But yeah, that's still not a bad gig, being out 2-day runs. Out 2 days, especially if they could get you on like a same run. There's 2 pizza places in Minneapolis I looked at, Little Caesars and Domino's, both run out of there, and they kind of had a similar thing. It was like it was kind of like a 2-day run. You would cover, because It was like you covered like Minneapolis down to like into Iowa. You covered all the Little Caesars and the Domino's. So when I left Cisco, I looked into those because those were like paying about the same, but at the time I didn't want to be OTR, so I really didn't get into it. Jeremy Griggs threw me $1. I appreciate that, Jeremy. Anthony Drummond comes in with a $10 super chat. Thank you for the free information lunch on me. Guys, y'all are too much. I appreciate it. I really do. Appreciate everybody coming in on a Sunday, man. This is good way to spend my Sunday right here, just chatting with everybody. I like it. Keeps me from doing something stupid like going in the truck stop and spending a bunch of money on something I don't need. I was looking at my Love's points, man. I had like 70 something dollars in Love's points, and I was like, man, I should go buy me a GPS. And I was like, I don't know if I really want a GPS, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, Cisco not bad. McLean not bad. The only problem with McLean is they're owned by Berkshire Hathaway or whatever. You know, Warren Buffett. They own Geico. They own, you know, everything, basically. They own Flying J Pilot, you know, or the majority of it. But I feel like, I don't know if I'd want to work for them, you know, just not sure, because it seems like they kind of like let things run down when they own it. So, don't know. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking. Caldy 28 Gaming, what's up, dude? Not much, just chilling on a Sunday afternoon, shooting the bull, trying to figure out trucking companies that are paying good, and trying to help the White Knight find a company that suits his needs and can pay him $100,000 a year. That's what we're going for. The White Knight says, giving up the 48 states would be very different for me. Yeah, I just don't run out west much. You know, because as an owner-operator, you really got to work your connections. You know what I mean? And like, there's certain areas of the country that I don't have connections. Like the last time I went to Southern California, you know, we got dispatch, and we got brokers that work at the company I'm leased to. So I had to call one of them and say like, hey, you know, do y'all have anybody in Southern California? You know, the spot market was looking good, but at the same time, it's like, I can put in a call to them and have them call people they know. And if you know people, it's way better than just, you know, blindly going on the spot market. That's why I think a lot of people fail as owner operators, is they use just the load board. You know, you gotta dig deep to find that good revenue stream, whether it be a different load board, a smaller load board, you know, a different type of brokerage. You know, sometimes you got to try it a different way. But yeah, 48 states doesn't bother me. I got no need for the West Coast, really. I lived in San Diego for a while. It was fun. It was nice, but I didn't drive a truck when I was out there. Let's see. Philip Trigger says, I'm a company driver, though. So with 81 mile an hour truck, the longer the run, the better usually. Yeah. I mean, you know, if you got long legs like that, 81 mile an hour, yeah, you probably don't mind the westest coast being, well, as long as you're not in California. But as an owner operator, you know, my truck is not governed that I know of. I never asked them at Freightliner. I should have asked them last time they had it in there doing the diagnostics on it, but I don't think it's governed. I mean, you know, she still pulls at, you know, 75, 80 mile an hour. She still got it. So, but typically I typically run like 64, 65 maybe. If I'm running late, I might run 70, but you won't catch me doing much more than that. When you pay for fuel and tires, you keep them, you know, a little slower. But yeah, 81 mile an hour. I would be telling them like book me a load from like Arizona to Florida. Uh, the White Knight. Here's a good laugh. Told a good friend I'm not getting laid for at least a year with this stupid COVID. Too funny. uh, let's see. The White Knight says, by the way, I'm in Minnesota now. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of Crete up there. Crete. I used to run into a lot of Crete drivers at the Nestle Water Factory in Red Bowling Springs up there. I used to pull loads out of there, unfortunately. Philip Trucker says, we don't have a fuel bonus, though, because no one would get it. Just mileage and safety. Yeah, 81 miles an hour, man. That's getting on with it. Yeah, that's pretty nice when, when your company will let you move like that, when it's legal. You get in a lot of miles. I mean, because at 81 miles an hour, you could probably average 70 miles an hour for your drive time, Yeah. You get in a lot of miles in a week like that, like 3,500 miles wouldn't even be that big a deal, Alexander says, I just moved to Iowa. I go down to Texas and Oklahoma. Otherwise, it's the 12 Midwest states. Yeah, that's a good way to keep it right there. Because to me, that's like easy work is how I look at that. It's like when you're in the Midwest, the winters can be a little rough, but at most you lose a day here and there, because they clean stuff up pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of where I like to stay. Again, thanks Anthony for the super chat. Thanks Jeremy, appreciate that. Paul Harris in the house Paul says that's a better way to give driver pay estimates. Our average driver makes. Yeah, I don't like this up to, because it's like the White Knight was saying earlier, well, like, that's only as good as, like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of a jokey way of putting it. Like, our drivers make up to 75. Well, what's the average guy make, Because I don't need to know what one guy made, that had, like, a stellar year and, because I worked for a company one time, and there was a guy there that had drove 171,000 miles in a year, and they were saying, well, we got drivers that make this amount of money, and I'm like, well, that one guy did it, and it was kind of a fluke, he probably had the graviest run ever, So, I don't put a lot into that up to. That's a tough way to judge. Let's see. Jeremy Griggs, don't buy a new Garmin. It got confused going around Atlanta today. Yeah, see, that's why I'm so confused on this GPS thing, because the way it works is, I've heard a lot of people, and this is more than one person, say the Rand McNally doesn't have any kind of longevity. Like, they don't last for a long time. And, I know there's probably some people out there that's had the same Rand McNally since 2010. But if I've heard more than one person say it, it's kind of one of those things like, do I want to spend $500 on a GPS and it crap out, in 2 years? And now I'm here. I was going to get the Garmin. I was looking at the Garmins, and now I'm hearing people say the Garmin is like, half-assed, or it's like, So, yeah, I don't know. And I use Copilot on my phone, and like, the reason I use Copilot is because Copilot tells you traffic alerts. Copilot's on my phone. It's an app. So it's getting cell signal all the time. So it can tell me traffic alerts and I don't know if y'all have ever used it, I've explained it before, but like basically on the side of your phone over here, like where your map is, it's got the next 60 miles in increments, like 45, 30, 15, and it shows you, like, it turns red or yellow. It's green mostly. If it's good to go, the next 60 miles are good to go, it's green. But like earlier today, I was coming through Tennessee, and like where Chattanooga was, it was showing like a 40-minute delay right there. So what I did, instead of going and sitting in that 40-minute delay, I hopped off at Love's and had dinner, and I sat there and waited for that to clear up. And, when it was green, I got back on the road, I took out. So I'm like, would a GPS do that? I don't know if GPS is, get the real-time data like that. That's why I like the app. So yeah. Let's see. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. And Copilot's not that expensive. It's like $10 a month versus, it's $120 a year. So if I went and bought a $300 GPS, it'd be like a 2-year, it'd be like, it would take 2 years for that GPS to like become, a profit basically. Like, so, that's how I look at things. Like, it would take 2 years for it to pay for itself for me, with me canceling the Copilot. Now I could run Google on my phone, like with the GPS, go by it, but use Google for the traffic. But there again, Google, I'd have to be zooming in and zooming out, like to see where it turned red, or do like the overlay map, or what, or the zoomed out, like overhead, like satellite view version. So I don't know. I like how Copilot does it with the traffic bar. They call it the traffic bar. It's just like down the side of your phone right there. I like how they do that. So the White Knight coach was talking about $4 plus runs on the spot market. Yeah, some of it is. I mean, it just depends. It depends. It might be $4. It might be $4 a mile right now, but what was it, 2 months ago? So that's kind of why I like a place that has customer freight, because even back like during the middle of COVID, I was getting some customer loads that were like $2, $2.50, $2.50 a mile, close to $3 a mile back in the middle of COVID. So if you don't have customer freight, like, they're not giving that customer freight when rates go through the roof, that customer freight doesn't move up like the spot market freight will. So I like it here because I can play both sides. That's why I say find you a place that's got both. Sorry, I'm trying to look real quick. I'm going to do some quick math here for you. I think it was like the load I have now, 680 on the loaded miles. Yeah, the load I have right now is $4.41 a mile, loaded miles. So, it's a risk though as a business, like at Crete's gonna pay you 50 cents a mile for every mile. You ain't gotta stress it, but as an owner operator, you're gonna have some ups and downs. It's not gonna be a nice steady ride, but if you can stomach it, it is better. I do believe. I think it is. Let's see. The White Knight, not just him, but many others, all on spot market. Yeah, I mean, the spot market's great when it's on fire. You just got to remember, the spot market is the first to go up, and it's the first to go down. And it's the one that's going to go down the hardest, and it's going to go up the most. So, there's plenty of people making money on the spot market. And I will tell you this, like, even if it is spot market freight, you still want some connections. You still want to like, if I'm in North Carolina, I got certain areas in North Carolina I go to a lot. I know people there. Yeah, I know brokers there that I can call. Like even if I don't see something they have, like if I'm looking at the load board and they don't have anything posted, I still can call them and be like, hey, do you have anything? Or, because maybe they haven't posted it yet. Maybe you can get it before they post it. So I think it's worth having connections. I really do. See, Alexandra says I've hit 80 in this truck. Yeah, that's good times. That's about the most I've ever put mine up to, was about 80 when I was out west. I had a fairly light load, so I figured I'd wind it up and see what it would do. Anthony Drummond says UPS will do that type of money, but it's a big sacrifice because they don't care about your quality of life. Is that owner operator at UPS, or is that UPS driver? I did a seasonal job at UPS when I first moved to Minneapolis. Yeah, I don't know. It pays good. That's about all I'll say about it. Management is like clueless over there. Like they don't know what's going on. One person tell you to do this. That person leaves. The next person comes in, tells you to do something totally different. So I don't know. Let's see. It's hard to get on at UPS as a company driver too. Like in Minneapolis, without working 5 years in there sorting packages, you're not going to become a driver there, a CDL driver. The guy that trained me at UPS had been there like 13 or 14 years, and he wasn't even in the top 100 in seniority. And when they do try to bring on somebody new there, they hire within. So what they do is they'll take a guy that's been in the package sorting for 5-10 years, and he wants to become a CDL driver. He signs up. He moves up from there. So they don't hire from off the street. They just hire from within. But boy, they make bank. If you can get hired on as a feeder driver over there, do it. Do it. Because they're making like $110,000 a year over there as a company driver. Pulling doubles for 60 hours a week. It's not a bad gig. See, the White Knight says can't stay in a UPS truck. UPS Freight does teams in sleeper trucks, but I don't know if they let you stay in it. You might have to get a hotel during home time, but it'd be worth it, let me tell you, because I looked into being a UPS team driver for UPS Freight, and after you reach top, what do they call it, the top pay in the union, whatever, whenever you max out, like I think it's like after 3 years, UPS Freight sleeper teams in Minneapolis make 83 cents a mile. So, keep that in mind. 83 cents a mile is pretty darn good to be a company driver with free benefits and all that good stuff. Let's see here. Don says the only time I can do that is when I'm loaded going down a hill governed at 65. Yeah, most of those big companies are governed at 65. I don't like running faster than that. Honestly, the main reason I run like 63, 64 is because I don't want to fight traffic all day. When I set the cruise control at 70 miles an hour, I am constantly passing, getting hung up behind an RV, behind, like a company truck that goes 67 and he's trying to pass a company truck that goes 55. It's just torment. It's like all day long I'm just fighting it. That's why I set it at like 63, 64, and I just let it ride because, see, Philip Trigger says, yeah, 3,500 miles isn't a big deal at all. Yeah, I mean, if your truck's governed at 80 miles an hour, yeah, 3,500 miles a week should be just like steady. Let's see. Philip Trigger says, that's why they pay extra for anything Northeast. Oh, yeah, God almighty. You must feel like you're driving through peanut butter when you get to the Northeast after you're used to doing 80 miles an hour. Anthony Drummond, UPS can make big money. Just have to sacrifice 4 years of your life for progression. Yeah. Yeah, those UPS guys, they make bank, but like you say, you earn it. When I was UPS seasonal, I always thought of it as like, they're paying you good, but they're paying you good for the risk, because you're pulling single axle trucks, pulling doubles with a single axle truck, in Minneapolis in the winter. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I would have had a set of doubles jackknife trying to pull into a terminal one time. The terminal was down a real steep hill at the bottom of a hill, and it was just a sheet of ice. And I started off the top of the hill at like 5 miles an hour, just creeping in there. And the back trailer, like right as I got ready to pull into the terminal, the back trailer was coming around. And I mean, I was still, I wasn't hitting the brake or nothing. It was just like the back trailer was pushing so hard, and it hit the curb on the street. It hit like the 4-inch curb. And that curb, it hit that curb, and it kind of just drug it all the way down the curb. And man, I was so happy when I got there. It had just come a huge ice storm. And they were like, hey, take this load way out to the middle of nowhere. Some little remote terminal. It was like one of those terminals where it's not even really a terminal. It's like a little metal shack in the middle of nowhere that they back the trailers up to and sort it right there. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, if you got time, like if you're a young guy, because I was talking to my nephew about that actually, because he's got like a year or two before he can get his CDL, as far as interstate. He can get the intrastate, but I told him, I was like, maybe it's worth going to UPS and being a package sorter for, right now, because you could make decent money doing that. Not great, but decent. And I said, you'll put the time in, and then, maybe in a year or two, when you do turn 21, they'll pay for you to get your CDL, and you can move into being one of those feeder drivers. And that's some real good money right there. If you got the, if you're a young guy, like, that's a career right there. Retire with a pension, because UPS is probably one of those rare companies that will actually have a pension still available in a few years. I worry about a lot of these pensions, like the way things are going these days. Philip Church says, at Jeremy, that's why if it's nighttime, I just go straight through Atlanta if no placards. Yeah, you can do that. I don't know. I kind of prefer to go around 285. I don't like going through downtown Atlanta. 75 is too curvy, and I don't like all the switching and everything going through there. Let's see. Alexander says, I've gotten this truck to 91. Woo! The fastest I've gone was 94. Wow, yeah. That is doing it. 94. That's super trucking right there, I do believe. Anthony Drummond, as a company driver, you can make that money at UPS. I've been there 19 years as a feeder driver off the street. Yeah, man, I wish people caught on to that nowadays, though. It's in Minneapolis, they ain't no off the street feeder drivers. You got to put that time in. I knew a guy that had been doing the seasonal work there for, God, I think he was in his 6th year doing seasonal, and he would do the full year of seasonal. He would do like October to January. Then he'd be off from January to I want to say like March, April. Come back, do the summer seasonal, be off through the fall. But he was an older guy, I guess he could afford to do that. But he had been doing it for 6 years, and yeah, he wasn't even like anywhere near getting hired on. Up there, it's just people caught on to it. It's really good money. It really is. I know as a seasonal driver, this was years ago. I think they're paying like $30, $31 an hour now to be a seasonal driver. But when I did it, it was $28 an hour. Overtime after 8, so it's like, was it? I was getting like $54. No, what was it? It was half of 28's 14, 38, $42 an hour on overtime. So, yeah, it's really good money. And I had a lot of weeks where I'd have more overtime than I did regular hours because the overtime after 8, do like 14, 15-hour days. Because I was trying to get it all when I was there. I would do yard switching. Like when my 60 hours was up, if they had time available, like if they had a Saturday or a Sunday shift I could do and still get my 34-hour restart in, I would like come in on Monday morning to do yard switching for like 4 or 5 hours just to get extra, because at $42 an hour I was getting all of it. Let's see here. Philip Trucker, at my old company, I ran Rocky Mountain doubles sometimes. Not many people there had all the endorsements. Yeah, that's a thing, like White Knight wanting to make $100,000 a year. With all endorsements, that leads me to believe, like, I'll just be honest. Pulling a dry van, I don't see how you hit 100,000 pulling a dry van as a company driver. Now, if you're an owner operator and you manage things properly, some lanes, you got the right people. Yeah, I could see you doing 100,000 as an owner operator, with a dry van. But as a company driver, I just don't see a dry van doing it. I'm not saying you can't, but I think you got to step out into something more niche, more risky. If I was going to be a company driver again, I would probably be looking at tanker, a hazmat tanker, something like that. I probably wouldn't go back to dry van, and I sure as heck wouldn't do reefer as a company driver. I think there's too much sitting around and stuff in that. Let's see what everybody's doing. Philip Trigger says, it did pay good. Extra though, up there with team pay. Yeah, I mean, there you go. You're doing something not everybody has. Not everybody has the endorsements to do. You got to get into that. You got to get into something more niche if you're going to make that kind of money. Let's see. Rick N. Going 94 in a car is just stupid, let alone a truck. Yeah, that's getting after it. Going 94 in a truck, that's super trucking. I think the fastest. I'm trying to think of the fastest I ever went in a truck. I know I've been up in the 80s, but I didn't like it. I think I did about 85, 88 in my Kenworths one time. But it was like in Texas, like middle of nowhere. I just ran it up there for a minute to see if it was. Alexandra says, lost my brakes on 84 in Oregon. Oh my God. Yeah. Alexandra says, the fact I didn't wreck as a rook means I had a horseshoe up my back end. Yeah, that's doing it right there. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. K-Save with another super chat. What is up, K-Save? Throwing it at me like I'm twerking at a strip club. Says if I was going to be a company driver again, I would just quit trucking. That's on everything. I don't doubt it, K-Save. Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's like, once you've seen the light, and you realize the light's not a gorilla holding a flashlight, um, it's hard to go back. It really is. Like, you know, I mean, I know where you're at, K-Save. Like, I look at the money I'm making, and then I think oh, back to the days when I didn't have a truck payment, and woo, let me tell you. Of course, I got August. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the first month I paid a payment on this truck. April, May, June, July. I'm 4 months of 18 months down. I got 14 months left paying on this bad boy, and then I'll be back in the land of no truck payments, where I like to live. I like thinking of my truck when it's parked outside in the driveway as a giant ATM machine. It's like when I want money, I go out there and I mess with it a little bit. Next thing I know, bank account's back up. So yeah, I'm right there with you, K-Safe. I did see a place. I was in Minneapolis looking at I think it's called Kane, Kane. They do tanker. They deliver like gasoline and stuff like that. Of course, I wouldn't be crazy about it, but I did see they were paying they were starting out like first year drivers with them. Not I think you had to have 2 years of experience, but the first year working for them, they were saying you make between like 80 and 100,000, and then you go up from there. So. And I did talk to one of their drivers one time, and he said, yeah, it's not impossible to make 100,000 doing that. So, something like that. I might be able to get into it, but yeah, it's once you get a few connections down as an owner operator, and you learn the lanes to run. Boy, it's hard to think of being a company driver again. Let's see. Yeah, you got lucky there, Alexandra. You really did. If you lost your brakes on 84 in Oregon, I can't think of many places worse to lose your brakes. Yeah. Glad you survived that one for sure. Philip Trigger says, maybe a good hazmat company with hazmat and tanker endorsements for totes of stuff like acid, maybe $100K. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like but at that point, you're not just a dry van, in my opinion. If you're pulling hazmat and tanker, if you need an X endorsement, well, that's what they call it in Minnesota. I don't know. If you got hazmat and tanker together, they call it the X endorsement. They do in Minnesota. I don't know about everywhere else. But anyway, I don't really consider that just a dry van because, you're not going to, your average mega fleet's not going to pull that. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, to need hazmat and tanker to pull a dry van, that's a little more specialized. That's kind of along the lines of what I was saying. Like, if you're going to make $100K a year, you're probably going to get, into a niche or into something a little bit more dangerous, because there's got to be a reason not everybody's doing it. Not everybody wants to haul totes of acid, so you narrow down your competition to make that kind of money, And again, I appreciate that K-Save. I really do. I like that. If I was going to be a company driver again, I would just quit trucking. That's on everything. I don't doubt it. Rick N said there's a huge difference between doing 94 and coast at 94 because you lost your brakes. Alexander Rick, whether it's on a pedal or not, doesn't matter. I haven't been to Oregon since. Let's see. White Knight says Philip ideas. KC says my truck is a giant money pit. It's okay though. Yeah, I mean, emotionally attached to your money pit at this point, I would say. Let's see. Philip Trigger says, can't remember the company, but there's a real high-paying hazmat company, OTR, in Atlanta, like 62 cents a mile, dry van hazmat. Yeah, there's a few companies. Who was it I seen the other day? I think it's Eklund, that ECKULUND or something. Y'all know who I'm talking about? It's like I'm horrible with spelling. It's like ECKLUND, Eklund or whatever. I seen on the back of their trailers the other day. They were paying 60 cents a mile, company drivers. So they're out there, and you just got to find them. And is it worth it? Do they pay short miles? Because it's like if a company pays you 55 cents a mile, but they pay short miles, it's like getting paid 50 cents a mile for practical miles. The way I look at it, on those short miles, you're going to lose about 10%. Let's see what's going on here. Rick N. Well, the difference is intent. Doing 94 intentionally in a semi is horrible. Losing your brakes and doing 94 and not killing someone is skill. Yeah. Yeah, if you was doing 94 with no brakes, yeah, kudos. Kudos. Way to stay calm under pressure and not kill anyone. Adco's in the house. What's up, Adco? Let's see, what's up here? Phil Trigger says, or consider oil field. A lot of those places pay for your lodging. Yeah, if you're making good enough money, you don't have to live in the truck all the time. If you're making really good money, what's like go on Priceline, and get like the cheapest, like not 2-star hotel and wherever you want to be, and like you can Uber over there and get a hotel for like $100 a night, so you wouldn't have to be in the truck every night if you get a place that's paying you good enough. Would be a thought, so I wouldn't let that living in the truck hinder you too much or all the way, but yeah, I mean, if that is a strategy, it does have to be thought about. I give you that. The White Knight says 94 mile an hour at 54 cents a mile equals 100,000. Yeah, I don't think you want to earn that 100K like that though. That is yeah. To average 94 miles an hour, I mean, like, it's kind of like that guy that had 10 million miles with John Krishner trucking. Maybe that's what he was doing. He was kept claiming his brakes were going out, and he was doing 100 mile an hour down every hill. Alexander says, at Rick, fair enough. I'll take a compliment when I see one. Paul Harris, what's the deal with the 275-gallon totes with hazmat? Yeah, I don't know about that. If someone wants to elaborate on that more, I'm all about it. I used to do some of those 275-gallon totes, but they were some sort of like adhesive or something. They were going to an upholstery factory, and they were not hazmat. I've never done them hazmat. I've only done them. You did have to have a tanker endorsement for them, but you did not have to have hazmat with it. Alexander says, Iowa calls it an X endorsement too, same as Indiana. Yeah, I thought that's what it was. The X endorsements when you put the hazmat with the tanker. I think every endorsement is worth it. Just tack them on. You know, what's it going to hurt? I've got the only two endorsements I don't have on my license are passenger bus and motorcycle. And you know, I actually thought about throwing the passenger bus on there when I was getting last time I was in there getting my tanker put on, but I was just like, yeah, maybe not, maybe later. DIY Semi back in the house. What's up, DIY Semi? I appreciate you coming back in, doing the extended version today. I appreciate you coming back. We're having conversation here about the White Knight is trying to get paid, trying to make that money. He's over there at Crete right now, making $65,000 a year, I think it was. Got 17 years of experience and all his endorsements. So I say he should be making more than $65,000 a year with all that experience and everything. I think maybe Crete's underestimating what they got there, you know. Just my opinion. But yeah, I appreciate you coming in. Everybody go check out DIY Semi. He's got a good channel over there. Definitely enjoying the Trucker Money series every Friday. Yeah, Uckland. I think that's how it's pronounced. Eklund. I don't know. I seen a sticker on the back of the... Alright, anybody still in here? That completely shut down everything. But yeah, anybody, yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. It like wouldn't even let me open the YouTube app. So I don't know, it all crapped out. But yeah, anybody still in here, appreciate it. But yeah, I think 100,000 a year is pretty standard. You know, I don't think I could do it over the road for like less than 100K a year, because you can find like local tanker jobs and, you know, stuff like that. You know, guys making $75,000-$80,000 a year. You know, let's see, what's everybody doing? Let's see. Where was I at? Alexandra says, I'm going to hit up a shower. You folks take care. Yeah, appreciate you coming in, Alexandra. Fellow Trigger says that Paul Harris, what about it? I don't know. What did Paul Harris say? Oh, yeah, the tankers with the totes, or totes with the tankers. Young Trucker 215, appreciate you coming in. Says good evening. What's up? Yeah, I had a little technical difficulties there. I don't know. YouTube completely crapped out on me. Had to start it all over again. So luckily they let me resume where I left off. So that's always nice. I hope you guys are getting signal. We'll see. Or hopefully I'm getting out, I guess is what I should say. Philip Trigger, they can slosh a lot, that's for sure. Some acids are heavy, though some things like acetone are a lot lighter. Yeah. Just depends. I mean, if you're gonna do, you know, that I think he was just suggesting with those hazmat totes is that's possibly one way to you know, make more with a dry van. I think that's all they were saying there. DIY Semi, oh man, yes, that's underpaid. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like at a place like, you know, a lot of these mega carriers, you know, like they don't care how good you are, they don't care how much experience you got, they don't care about your endorsements as much. Like they can hire a new guy off the street and pay him, you know, or a guy with 6 months experience or whatever you got to have, you know. They can hire him and they can pay him $60,000 a year to do the same job you're doing, and he's happy with it. But it's like, you know, when you start putting in 10 years and you realize the sacrifice you're making, yeah, you're not as happy with that $60,000 a year. You know, you got to want more. Al John says, "Hey Cash, eating hot wings and enjoying the show. Appreciate you coming in, Al Johns. Thanks for being here." Philip Trigger says they usually brace them with boards, though, so you might have to jump back there with a crowbar and pull some nails later. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's paying all right, that's what you do. DIY Semi says White Knight. Step one, get a truck. Step two, watch me and Cash is King. Step three, get rich. Yeah, you know, that's my suggestion. Is like I was saying, with my nephew, I would never put him down the wrong path. Like I told him, I said, go somewhere, get 6 months to a year of experience, somewhere you can tolerate, and then after that, we'll put together a plan to put you on. Like I think you buy you a good fuel efficient truck, and you learn your lanes, you make some connections. I think you can make 100. You could clear 100K no problem. Like especially if you're willing to, like White Knight, he lives in the truck, and you live in the truck, you're working that much. Like yeah, you should be doing 100K. I think. Don says I think I have to take some advice also. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Don. Your situation doesn't seem that bad. I mean, yeah, if you want to make more, there's more out here. Um, there's more out here, but being regional like that for 85K a year, at least you're not like OTR gone all the time, and 85K a year ain't bad, even in the Northeast, Let's see. White Knight says, "What happened? Things froze." Yeah, I don't know. It shut me down. Like, I don't know. I had to restart my phone. It locked everything up. YouTube does that from time to time. Oh, let's see here. Where was I at? DIY Semi says your face is gonna stay like that. Yeah. I got my other phone going down here just to see when it's freezing up and stuff, and yeah, I love looking over whenever it freezes and seeing the face it sticks me at. Oh, let's see. Jeremy Greig says I'm parked beside him. I have one bar. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's on YouTube's end. YouTube gets like that sometimes. It's just like nothing you can do works. Like, you can connect to Wi-Fi, just nothing. Al John says, sorry, I'm back. Al John says, I would be happy with 60K local. Yeah, I mean, depends on your area, in Minneapolis, local is about 60 to 70, depending on where you're at, but it's kind of an expensive place to live, too, so you got to keep that in mind, too. It has a lot to do with that. Young Trigger 215 says, heading out, 3 stops, 1 in Queens, 2 in Long Island. Whoa, he's got some work cut out for him. Good luck with that, young trucker. I appreciate you coming in. I'm not going to be on here much longer, guys. YouTube's not digging it, apparently. It keeps freezing up on me, so... let's see what everybody else is doing here. Jeremy Greig says, I'm tired of living in parking lots. Yeah. Says, hey Cash, if you like watermelon, holler at me about one. Holler at me, brought too much. Al John says, does your company pay you for each stop? Stop 1, stop 2, stop 3. If you're OTR, you should get 100K. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I think. Like, 100K is pretty standard. Like, I was talking about it earlier. I think, like zero, like your first year. If you can get, 50 to 60,000 your first year, I think you're doing pretty good. Or I think that's where you should be for your first year. And then for years 2 and 3, you should be moving up into 60 to 70,000. you know. But then once you're like in like years like 3, 4, 5 and up, you should be all over 100,000. You really should. Let's see. Don says, I want to work smarter, not harder. I have a motorcycle and haven't rode it in 4 years. Yeah. Can be tough. You know, and being an owner operator, like, you will put in more work, but you can really choose when and how much more, you know, or less. You know, like, I've kind of got a plan. I'm running hard for a couple years, and then I won't run as hard. But like, you look at like, you know, I don't know if y'all guys watch BOC. You know, I mean, he's like running local basically as an owner operator, and you know, you don't have to be out here all the time to make good money. You just have to come up with a strategy that fits your plan. Al John said, "LOL, I would be high on the hog with that with 80K." Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I figure, like, if you're going to be out here all the time doing it, yeah. Let's see. The White Knight says, but where? Yeah, I mean, I'm saying more of like, that's where I think people should be. You just got to figure out where and when fits, you know, what fits for you. K says, cash is king. I want to swing through just to say what's up. Got to rush back because I'm going to drop my trailer. All right, yeah, I'm here at the Loves. I'm right over by the exit. I got a you know, I'm over in that area. Let's see, Jeremy Griggs. I read only 5% of owner operators net over 100K. Oof. I know a lot of owner operators here where I'm at, and yeah, 100K is I don't know. 5% of owner operators will admit it, because, you know, if you ask me, hey, did you make 100K last year? I'll say, who do you work for? The IRS, you know? Let's see. The White Knight says, that's why I live in the truck. Expenses. Yeah, you can cut a lot of that out. You know, you can cut a lot of expenses out by doing that, but you know, like staying at a hotel, you know, 4 or 5 days a month, still definitely cheaper than renting in most places. Al John says, right now I'm a little over 40K compared to these $15 an hour dudes. I'm doing great. Yeah, I can't believe they're trying to push $15 an hour in Gulfport. That is ridiculous. Like, that blows my mind. It really does. DIY Semi says, Cash, I learned something about live stream. YouTube stops paying at 1 hour. Might pay to stop, then start a new stream at 1 hour so you get paid. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll check into that. I mean, I mostly do the live feeds just to bullshit with everybody. You know, it's something to do. I'm not necessarily too worried about getting paid for them, but I'll check into that. There's a lot I don't know about YouTube. It really is. They offered me that thing about memberships the other day. You know, I could do channel memberships. And I was just like, I don't know if I got time to do extra special things for, you know, like, I kind of dig, you know, just doing lives and doing my weekly recap videos and stuff like that. So, let's see what else is going on here. Philip Trucker plus BOC works weekends for desperate rates and usually takes like Tuesday and Wednesday off. Yeah, as an owner operator, I find it best to work. I like setting myself up for like, I like to be in Minneapolis or Chicago on like Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday at the latest, because I want to get a good weekend run. Weekends pay better. I work holidays. You know, those are the sacrifices to make the bigger cash. So, yeah. Not a bad strategy. Jeremy Griggs, I'm burnt out. Been running hard for 4 years. Oh, yeah, I feel you. It's not hard to get burnt out here. Al Johns, I need to run local. owner operator because I think I can do it. Just don't know where to start. Yeah, I mean, if in Gulfport should be, should be a decent place, man. You got a lot of work in Gulfport as far as like, um, you know, containers and the bananas and things like that. Um, let's see here. White Knight says, Jeremy, I definitely understand. Um, yeah, it's not hard to get burnt out. White Knight, $15 for what? Trucking? Yeah. Yeah, Al Johns is talking about in Gulfport, Mississippi. He was looking at local jobs down there paying $15 an hour. And I'm just like, like the Taco Bell near my house pays $13 an hour. So why they think you're going to drive a truck for $15 an hour is beyond me. White Knight says, I would drive the truck into the ocean and make sure it sinks. Yeah, no kidding. Right off into the sunset on that one. Say, hey, the bridge was out. I thought there was a bridge right here. Jeremy Griggs, Al John says, Jeremy Griggs, I hope you get something for your time. Jeremy Griggs, what people don't understand about OTR people are nuts out here. Yeah, most people have no idea what's going on. K-Save, I'm at the 310. I'm at the Loves. Big Timer 1A says, sup. Also hit the like button. Your channel's great. Appreciate it, Big Timer. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody hitting those likes. Al John says, laughing my ass off, White Knight. Let's see. Philip Trucker, do coaching calls like Red Viking Trucker for $100 an hour. He's not even an owner operator. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not crazy about giving my number out, but I try to put enough on my channel that I think, like, if you watch my channel and maybe like 3 or 4 other decent owner operators, like DIY Semi, you watch BOC, you put in a few other channels, kind of factor some stuff in, and I think you can get enough grasp on like the important things to get a good head start, because a lot of it's just going to come down to your day-to-day, what you do, like your day-to-day operation, whether you're successful as an owner operator or not. Like BOC, he's really got a niche there, where he's doing these Amazon trailer moves and bottled water loads. He's kind of got his connections and his things he knows works. So that's a big part of it. You just got to kind of refine it down. Like me, I try to get to my direct customer freight on the weekends. That way I know I'm set up to get paid. And that's usually how I like to start my week out, is a big, a big paying, like 1,000-1,500 mile load straight out of a customer. And I know that's a good start to the week, and then the back haul is usually just gravy on top. Let's see. So yeah, I'm not really in the favor of taxing people $100 for a coaching call. I mean, I see there's some value in that, like, think of it like this, think of if you avoided one huge mistake in trucking, for $100, it could be well worth it. But I just don't know if that's something I'm interested in. Let's see, the White Knight, I really would. That's the funny thing. Let's see, Al John says, I work 4 days a week now. That's pretty sweet. The White Knight says, Viking blows. I have more experience than him. Yeah, you got to watch where you get your information from these days. Paul Harris says, $15 plus mileage. Yeah, at 60 cents a mile. Yeah, I mean, there need to be something that, like, there's more, got to be more to that equation than $15 an hour to get my attention. Al John says, I talked to a guy who said he had guys lined up out the door. Yeah, more power to him. More power to him. Lined up out the door. Lined up out the door to get $15 an hour. I put my waders on if I went in there because that smells like bullshit. Jeremy Grigg says, everybody be good, I'm out. All right, Jeremy, we was all going to go rob banks, but better listen to Jeremy. He says be good, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's see, Philip Trucker, it was a joke. Yeah, I mean, like, I see value in something like that, like a coaching call, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like there's enough free information out there, you know, like, that you could be successful without having to do like that, like a coaching call. Because, you know, I feel like in a phone call, you know, it'd be too hard to figure out your situation and then try to figure out like how I could help you with that situation, you know. And honestly, like I would rather like this live right here, like with White Knight trying to, you know, learn and figure out, you know, better situations and better companies to make more money. I'd rather do it in a scenario like that where other people can jump in and help out as well. So yeah, I mean, I figured it was a joke, but you know, I see value there, but I'd rather just do it in a different way. Al John says that's why I like Mark at Trucking Answers. The White Knight says, Jeremy, stay positive. Yeah, no doubt. Al Johns, I learned a lot from him, for sure. K-Save, 6 minutes. What time is it? Okay, yeah. Just come to where it says truck entrance, and you'll probably be staring right at me. Or truck parking, excuse me. Come up to that second entrance. Let's see. Paul Harris, I've been out of the CDL life for 4 years. Just got my permit last week. Paying for private lessons plus the use of their truck for the test costs $2,500. Yeah. It's a good way to start out. It's a good way to start out. Let's see here. Al John says that Paul Harris, do you work for JB Hunt? No, Paul Harris is just getting back into the game. He's been out for a little while. What did he tell me the other day? He did a 4-hour reset. I laughed about that. I got thinking about that later. I was like, a 4-year reset, man. That is doing it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to hop off here real quick. And I've been at this for about 3 hours. Yeah, if you're still listening, K-Save, I'm going to run in and use the restroom, but then I'll be back to the truck here in a minute. So yeah, just come holler at me. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate all the super chats. Everybody check out those channels I mentioned earlier. Who was it? White Knight says, thanks, all be safe. Yeah, White Knight, I hope you got something out of it. If I think of anybody else, we'll talk about it next time. But appreciate all the super chats. Check out all those channels that gave super chats. Check out Trucker Wild. Check out DIY Semi. All the guys. Good stuff. I got a white Freightliner. Come see me in Betty White. Betty White. There is a Stevens Transport parked on my driver's side. All right, guys. Later.